Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday. Happy Easter Sunday. Happy middle of a bank holiday weekend. Yes! Hope you're all keeping well. Today, well, we're doing some flying. General aviation in our Cessna 182. We're here outside of Guadalajara in Mexico. Right, a place I haven't a clue of, but that's where we're starting from. As we spend the next couple of hours, I'm waiting for the old Easter Sunday roast. Mr. Two-Tone was up at that time. Well, hang on. Let me tell you exactly what happened. You know, that isn't making up stories or like talking rubbish at all. So there I was, like a scene out of Rambo and probably, what was the other one with Arnold Schwarzenegger and the cyborg thingy? What was that movie called? It had a weird face. You know the name now. Predator. Right. So it was somewhere between Rambo and Predator. I got up, you know, out of bed, grabbed my rifle, and off I went to hunt. In which I did. I killed a ferocious beast. Now, after preparing it for eating with various salts and stuff, it's now in the oven. And we're going to eat it with our hands, you know, later on. We went to Dunnes Stores yesterday and bought a ham, and that's now in the oven, right? And we're going to be having roast ham for dinner today at some stage. But while we're waiting, of course, for that to happen, back to reality, and here we are. We're going to do some flying. I hope you're keeping well. I was up early this morning. Well, I was up early this morning, getting all my stuff done for the week. We have a busy week ahead of us. Tomorrow we're doing more VATSIM FAA stuff. Tuesday we're driving in Germany. Wednesday we've the news. 3 new aircraft to show off. One of them I think is exclusive. Thursday doing very little. Then Friday we are flying for the Department of Questionable Logistics. Right? In places I can't... There's a lot of stands in them as we kind of head into Asia, you know. The Silk Road, as it were, that kind of neck of the woods. That's happening next Friday, so it's a busy week. But so great to catch up with everyone today. Hope your day is going grand, wherever you are in the world. If it's still Sunday, maybe it's... It's probably Sunday everywhere at this stage. It could be Monday. But you're very welcome in. Exclamation point route will give you the route of what we're doing today. And I just want to explore Mexico in the sim. That's what it's all about. Do you know? How was your weekend gone? So do you know what I did yesterday? I spent a questionable amount of time in our sitting room on our settee, reclining, watching Yellowstone. We've now started season 5. We watched all of season 4 yesterday. I was bleary-eyed going to bed, but man alive, what a great TV show. It's friggin' awesome. It's brilliant. But here we are. You know, I need to send a letter to Kevin Costner. Kevin, how are you? Listen, you know your hat, the John Dutton hat. Will you just, you know, be sound, Kevin, be sound. Just, you know, send it, you know. And, right, it'll happen. Sure, it'll happen. But anyway, we're here in the Cessna 182, the retractable gear version. I flew one of these many years ago. I'm trying to remember where. It was either in... I think it was in the north. I think it was Derry. I think. I was up that neck of the woods. I was very young though. And I didn't fly it. I flew in it. Right. But I do remember the aircraft. And I know this one from Coronado. One of their best. Especially in flight sim. So yeah. Looking forward to flying this machine here today. You see. But tell me now. Break it to me gently. How many Easter eggs have you eaten thus far? Right. I mean, is your head just now covered in chocolate? Not only that, how does one open or like get into the Easter egg? I'm traditional. I grab the egg, I punch it, and then it breaks into multiple places. It's a very, you know, masculinity. Sometimes but other times, you know. Some people get a knife. Some people whack it with a spoon. How do you get into yours? Yeah, you could just smash the thing. Of course you can, but like, do you know what I mean? You have to kind of be very skillful. Grab the egg, whoosh, and then start eating it. But that's what we do. So did you have many? Are you full of Easter eggs by now? It's gas, right? So they sell them expensive up until, you know, today. Tomorrow, you know, opportunity, lads. You know what I mean? You can buy an absolute ton of them for very little price. And just check the expiration date, right? I know people who do their Christmas shopping in September. That'll tell you, right? So we can do our Easter shopping for next year, this year. Don't know how that's going to work, but if they, you know, it could work. Anyway, Who's here on this Sunday morning or Sunday night? MDA 009, welcome in, man. Good to see. What time of day is it for you? He also had the first comment this evening. You're very welcome aboard. Simmaster Extreme, welcome in. Crafty Tigers is here. Good to see you. Sir Camsalot, AJH Madude, hope you're well. Willem FS is here. Hello, Easter peoples. Is there an egg here? Yes, there is. Commander Balosh, happy Sunday. Sourdough Man is here. Good, whatever the time is. I'm getting up. It's breakfast. Yes. What's for breakfast? Eamon 1973, you're very welcome aboard. Blinky is here. Happy Easter, Blinky. The forgetful Larry has rambled in. How are you, Larry? 10 months, Larry. Thank you very, very much indeed for all your support. He says, time to stuff myself full of chocolate and watch a Murph stream. No better combo. Alrighty then. Do you know, I saw the lads driving last night. I was away from the PC. I did a quick update yesterday on the server for Euro Truck Sim, and then I saw them driving last night. I was like, I want to join them. But I was otherwise engaged, so I hope the lads had a good drive last night. Death's Angel is here, 4 months with a Prime subscription. Thank you very, very much indeed. Death's Angel, top of the day to you. Who else come in? Captain Sickbag, happy Egg Day. Now, come here. Captain Sickbag, there's no way you do the traditional Easter egg. There's not a hope you do it. How do you celebrate Easter with eggs? Are they even chocolate eggs? We need to know a story about this. There's no way, Captain... there's no way. Maybe you go to the pub, order yourself a pint, sit there quietly, and in your top pocket, you produce a Cadbury's cream egg, right? You then use a cocktail stick to jab it, right? And then you place it on something like a furnace or what were they called? The gadgets in science? The old Bunsen boiler, the burner. Remember them? And right, there's a way he does it. It can't be just straightforward like that. And if it is, it's he lying, pure lying. I reckon he does something mad with Easter eggs. To keep it Tom, good to see it. Or maybe you don't, Captain Sickbag. Maybe you're very traditional. You just get the egg and you eat it. But there has to be a story here, you know. To keep it Tom, very welcome aboard. Max Stallion is here. Captain Cocktail, good to see you guys. Lee Dixon is here. Tier 1, 34 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Great to see you, man. I'll have to go for a pint if this keeps up. Right? Brilliant. Jack M, good to see you today. Happy Easter indeed, Death's Angel. Malky Mack is here. Good afternoon from a sunny Scotland. Hello from a me hand. Hello from a kind of dreary, rainy kind of Tipperary. But you're very welcome in. Spitfire RAF 100 is here in the chat. Happy Sunday to you. Crafty Tigers is so excited to catch the stream before my 7th shift in a row. It'll be nice to have the next couple of days off. Absolutely, man. Absolutely. 3 streams as well. Good man yourself. B. Carlo, happy Sunday to you. Hope all is well. Zard is here. Good day. Kozaki Flyer, he says, happy Easter from the exile of Flight Sim 2020. It's good to see you, Kazaki. The Limbix is here. Good morning, Murph and Fireflies. It's just about midnight. Me bleary eyes will betray me soon. Now, come here. If you're watching with a tablet, you know, and you're in the lab, you're in the bed, be very careful. You know, public service announcement from the Health and Safety Department. If you're like me, I just sometimes have the tablet resting on my chest as I'm looking at it as I go to sleep. Well, that's a rookie mistake because you will drift off into a lovely sleep only for the tablet to then fall upon your nose and you'll start crying, weeping. You know, it can happen. So be careful with that. Dougal McTavish, the chairman, has rambled in. Good to see you, Dougal. Hope all is well. Toto2495. Reports from the realm. Hi, this is Mrs. Toto. Currently driving from Derbyshire to Southampton, hopefully not using any of his questionable truck driving skills he may have acquired during a Tuesday evening. To the Totos, you're very welcome in. Hope you're having a great day, and well, very happy Easter to you. Filthy is here. Welcome aboard. New Zealand, good to see you. A Croteg is here. How are you, Murph and Fireflies? Happy Easter to those who celebrate it, and a good Sunday to everyone else. Absolutely. You're very welcome in. Gerald is here. Good to see you. Welcome aboard. MDA, Jesus, tier 3 for 28 months, man. That's insane. Insane support. Thank you very, very much indeed. Hope you're well. It is, in fact, 24 minutes into me Monday. Jesus, Limbics. Yellowstone is a great show. 1923, also good as well. So come here, right? When I finish watching Yellowstone, do I go straight to 1883 or do I go to 1923? That is the question. as Wicked Lumberjacks rambles aboard. Good to see you, man. Paparazzi is here, tier 2, 45 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Paparazzi. Hope you're well. Phantom Diablo is here. Happy Easter. No flying for me at the moment. Dinner is due to be served in 30 minutes. Nice. Zid is here. Good to see you. Airwolf bursts in the door with a tier 1 sub for 36 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. He says, Happy Easter, Murph. Can't stay for long. I have a birthday party. Ooh. Is it your birthday party? Jesus. Creo, welcome aboard. Crafty Tigers. I have eaten bags of mini eggs. You want to be careful with them. I mean, it's a great idea going in the way, but coming back, well, I'm just saying the shells. You'll know about it later and light a candle. Yeah, right. Zid says, people who open Easter eggs with a knife are the type that eats pizzas with a knife and fork. Well, it depends now, right? I mean, if you go somewhere fancy and there's a pizza, it could be like an Italian restaurant, or perhaps even you're in Rome. Sometimes the knife and fork are obligatory to have. They are a requirement, because otherwise you make a mess of yourself and your family. Yeah, it can happen. But anyway, Zith, yes, or a burger. Now, I sometimes eat a burger with a knife and fork. And that's mainly because I don't want to look like a complete and utter savage. You know, some of the burgers you get are like the size of your head. I mean, do the maths. It doesn't work. You can't just mush it into your face, you know. So the knife and fork kind of get, you know, they ramble. Phantom says, my wife got me an after 8 Easter egg, opened it, and it looked like the delivery driver had thrown it at a wall several times. So disappointed. It was in 100 of broken bits. Yeah, but listen, don't worry. It's ready to eat, pre-smashed, you know. People pay a lot of money for that somewhere. Soaring AJH man, happy Sunday. Let's be honest, everyone knows the expiration dates are just suggestions. Now listen, you're like me dad. Me dad has stuff in his fridge and he says, well, if it says best before, it's grand. If it says use by, well, it's not as grand. He would have stuff in there best before like many weeks after the best before date. The problem is they don't give you the proper warnings on the label. Yes, they might say the product will be at its best before this date, but they fail to alert us to the, you know, but it will be utterly shite after this date. You try having ham, you know, or milk or anything like that after its best before date. Danger. Angry Lou, good to see you. Garbar is here, welcome aboard. Olsen is in the house. Welcome in, everyone. Let me see now. Hello, y'all. Good evening from Tokyo, says, how do you pronounce this now? Is it, Jesus, Merv. Is it, Edo Kunjip? Welcome aboard. Thank you very much. Hello from Tipperary. Jesus, Tokyo. Sourdough Man says, quick protein shake. Time to fly. Yes. Trixillion, welcome aboard. Phantom Diablo with a 10 stream streak. Thank you very much indeed. Phantom Diablo's having the turkey. Man yourself. Scary Wolf is here. I normally drift off on my side. Yeah, it depends though. If you have the iPad or the tablet on your side, you're not too bad. But it can still fall over and, you know, side impact bars and all that. Do you know what I'm saying? No health and safety concerns here, Merv. You're on the telly, bolted to the wall. I have learned my lesson. Brilliant. MDA says 1883 and then 1923. Is that the best way to do it? Not mine, mother-in-law's. Very good, Airwolf. Well, have a great day. You are what you eat, right? It's Odo for short. Right now, it's Odo for short. Eduardo. Oh, it's Eduardo. Well, welcome in, Edo. Good to see you, man. Got us going out to military airports again. Yeah, I don't. So I looked at the map, Dougal, right? And I was saying to myself, Jesus, this looks nice.
Hello there.
And then I found some more airports and I said, Jesus, they look nice. Why is it the military airports always pick the nice areas? Do you know what I mean? Anyway, let me see. Babylon, welcome in. Thank you very much indeed for the follow. Hope you're well. Quick jump over to the tube of you. Welcome in, everyone. Kenneth Fitzpatrick. Ken, happy afternoon to you. Happy Sunday. Visualize is here. Mrs. TPHI, happy Easter. Virtue Sim, good to see you. Dave Cleary is here. Legend Dave. Welcome in, Dave. Hope you're keeping very well. Who else come in now? Gerald is here. Geralder. Good to see you. Let me see who else. Jidliotti is here from California. Hello from Tipperary. Good to see you. Hey, Matt is here. Welcome aboard. Neil McCauley. You hit it with a large hammer, Murph. Neil, we'll try that now. We'll try that. Spooled up. Happy Easter. Hope you're well. Kanzui. Hello. over on YouTube in fabulous 4 times the resolution. Yes, that's right. 4K. Jesus, Kanzu. I mean, right. You know, I mean, sometimes this sort of stuff can only happen in a 4K environment. Ooh. Right, now, plenty of that now. Ease up, right, ease up. Uniform Goose, good to see you, Goose. Hope you're keeping very well. And it's all happening now. Bazza is here. Welcome in, Bazza. You really sound like a paddy, says Babylon. But I am a paddy, you know. Us Irish invented the paddies. Patrick. How did we get the name Paddy, anyway? Irish people, Paddy. How did we get that name? Oh, I know a couple of Patricks, don't get me wrong, but you know what I mean? How did we get that name? Bazza is here for 6 months. Thank you very, very much indeed. Good to see you, man. Bah humbug, my multiplayer's not working again. Are you serious? Dougal, I'll see, can I add you to the gadget? That should work. I hope. Yes, we're going to be on the Southeast Asian server. We're also using JoinFS and we're using Skynet from Say Intention. So lots of ways in which you can join the flight today. And yeah, jump on in. If you've never done a multiplayer flight with us before, just type in ! English Murph, ! how to multiplayer, all one word. It'll give you a link to a little video and it'll show you what the crack is of how to get your settings where you need them. Right, where you need them. But anyway, Mr. 90, good to see you, man. Right, we're going to turn off that light. Right, and we'll come over to here, look. Now, the time of day I have this set to, hang on there now, we got ourselves sorted out with stuff and things and all the others, right? So, let's have a look here now. So the time of day, my chair arm thingy moved. The time of day should be 12:38. There we go. So this is live time, live weather. And this is the current state of the nation where we are, right? So we're in just outside of Guadalajara here in Mexico. And look at that for a sunrise. Isn't that absolutely freaking gorgeous? Jeez, look at it. And well, the weather is actually fairly nice looking. That kind of, you know, a couple of scattered clouds, few clouds over there. We got some cirrus clouds up on top. It looks very, very nice, right? I wonder if the Corvallis will keep up. It should do. It should do. Corvallis is a great option for a flight. Live time or less 1 minute. Less 1 minute, Dougal, if you can. So sometimes the servers, they're fine, and then sometimes the servers, well, they're friggin' nuts. So they have all these kind of issues, you see. So who do we have here on the ground? Oh, we have a few lads here already. Brilliant. All right. So, well, let's have a look at what we're doing and where we're going, and we'll kind of, you know what I mean, wing it as we do, right? We'll try and wing it. So let's have an old gawk here now. We'll see what's happening in the world of things that are happening. And if I come down to our Navigraph, here's Navigraph. So this is what our route looks like. So the airports, lads, yeah, some of the airports aren't actual, there's no ICAO designators for them, right? So if you go to Guadalajara, you're going to see where the main international airport is, Miguel Hidalgo, Castilla, Mike Golf Lima. Well, we're to the northwest of that, about 4 miles, and we're just up here. That's our airport that we're taking off from. From there, well, we'll mess around Guadalajara. We're going to head down towards this big lake, and then we're flying out towards these volcanoes, lads. There's a couple of volcanoes here. Dying to see what they look like in the sim. And just as we get to just after the second peak, just ramble down kind of where you can see kind of the lava flows, and there's a river there, but there's 2 small little airstrips, and we're just going to stop at one of them. That's our first stop. All right. Then from there, we're going to leave the city of Colima behind, and we're just going to ramble all the way out to the coast, out to this airport here, and Mike Zulu Oscar, which is the Castellgre. Or Castellagre, and it looks very pretty because, I mean, it's literally at a beach, right? It's right beside the beach, so I said it'd be nice to kind of fly out that direction. And we'll play it by ear. As I said, we'll do a bit of messing, a bit of flying around, and basically just seeing how good or bad the aircraft is going to behave. It is a general aviation flight, flying under VFR conditions, and sure, listen, lads, we'll kind of see where she goes. So our chariot for today's flight, it is that of the Cessna 182, as we just wait for that sun to rise a little bit. As I said, it's from Coronado, but it is a beautiful aircraft. They've done a great job with this thing. Cessna, you know, a very kind of stable workhorse. This one, of course, with the retractable landing gear, which, you know, it's engineering gone mad, because the main gear actually fold down and they kind of just move to the back, and that's where the housing is. Look, that's where the landing gear go. That's the gear bay. and they just sit up into that, which is kind of mad looking, isn't it? You can kind of see where there's a hinge in here, and yeah, they just fold back and sit into place. And then the nose gear is very traditional. That's just on a big, massive kind of a hinge, and that'll just fold forward. All right. So the aircraft itself, it's a Lycoming engine in this machine. Plenty of power in the 182 versus that of, say, a 172. A bit more horsepower. And well, we have some nice options here from Coronado with this aircraft, because it includes their own little tablet, you see, and we can mess around. The landing gear for the 337, even more nuts. Yeah, Cessna did some very odd, strange, wonderful things with their aircraft. In particular, we're going to be checking out an aircraft on Wednesday, and it is that of the only helicopter Cessna built, the CH1. That's from Cowansim. We're going to be checking that one out on Wednesday on the news. It's weird looking, mad looking, bit like myself, but I'm looking forward to seeing how it all behaves within the sim. So, one over here. Todd Trammell, thank you very much indeed, man. 7 months. Cheers. Thank you very much indeed. Happy Easter, man. So with our tablet here, we can remove now the static elements, external power, get rid of it. No need for that. We have all various doors here we can open the pilot door, the co-pilot door, the baggage door, and so on. The next page, we can add in what avionics we want. If you have the GTN 750 from PMS50, or if you have the 750XI from TDS, well, that's your option, either or, and you can pop it in there. All right. Someone says, can I use a keyboard and mouse on flight sim? It does not, not does it work, but is it possible to use? Yes, you can use them. Of course you can. If you get yourself an Xbox controller, that would be even better. But if you need to use a keyboard and mouse, yes, it will work. Not a wonderful kind of experience, but yes, it will work. Do you know what I mean? Tonton, thank you very much indeed. And Danny, welcome in, lads. Many thanks for the follows. Hope you're keeping very well. Right, so that's our tablet. So that's all kind of set up here. Now, when it comes to a walk-around check, well, there isn't really a walk-around check with this aircraft because it's a 2020 aircraft, really, isn't it? But we would have the likes of your removed before flight, your pitot covers, your engine intake covers, your chocks, and of course the little baggage area here. The Coronado, as I say, they do great jobs modeling. The visuals from this developer are usually just chef kiss. They do amazing visual work on their aircraft. They just look stunning, right? So with any aircraft, you start coming out the pilot side, and then you start working your way around. You would check the likes of the flap, you'll check the ailerons, you go ahead and check where the nav lights and strobes are fitted, making sure the bulbs are okay. The leading edge of the wing, you're checking for any kind of bumps or bruises or any damage. As we come down, you'd have the pitot tube, which is kind of, where's the pitot on this guy? I want to say there it is. There's your pitot tube right there, right? You have these air intakes as well. You also have a stall. This here, see this little flap? That's off your stall warning. So basically, there's a system on the aircraft. If your airspeed drops, the aircraft will start shouting at you by way of a stall warning, usually a long beep. And how that works is, as the aircraft moves, the wind actually pushes that flap up, meaning all is well. So only when the flap is down, you're liable to get a stall warning, right? Now, it's not going to be blaring there all the time because, well, it has to be activated first, then it goes off. Pretty cool, right? And it usually will trigger somewhere around, kind of 40 knots. Somewhere between 40 and down to 20 knots. That's when that gadget will go off. So you have your pitot tube. Basically, this allows air to come in, and it's using this to sense your airspeed. So air comes in through this instrument. Now, the reason why this is important, pitot as in, well, it looks like pitot, but it's French. This is important because we have a button inside the airplane. Nearly all airplanes, they'll have a pitot heater. So it's like a heating element, similar to what you find in a kettle. You know the element in a kettle? It's the same idea. Because what happens is, because of this little hole in the front, well, moisture and water and, well, the devil knows what can get in there. Now, there is a small, tiny little hole in the back that allows the water to get out, right? But sometimes, depending on your altitude and indeed the air temperature, well, water gets cold, it'll freeze. And if this freezes, it no longer works, meaning, well, you're not going to have any indication of your airspeed. Do you know what I mean? So we have a pitot heat element in that, and that'll, stop it from freezing up. Bald Eagle, the absolute legend. Jesus. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. Where's my alerts coming up on this? Let me see. Bald Eagle, happy Easter to you, man. 25 months. What an absolute legend. Thank you very much indeed. Zith, what's the story about Air France Flight 447? Arva is here as well. Ah, lads, all the resubs. You're very kind. Thank you very much indeed. 17 months, Arva. Thank you very, very much indeed, man. Happy Easter. So moving with the rest of the aircraft, then we come towards here. We have a number of, they call them the static ports. And basically, these guys are going to help measure the things like your altitude and vertical speed and all this sort of stuff. And they're all based and powered on the suction device, and some of the instruments down are ran off the gyro. But you'll have them at the front and rear of the aircraft. And again, it's a visual check to make sure there's nothing blocking a small little hole in there. Basically, they're a sensor. As we move up, we have the EPU, but the EPU is to do with our electronic power unit, or ground power unit, external power unit. And that's what slips in there. You'd rarely see this with some of the smaller general aviation, right? It was an A330 that crashed into the Atlantic because the pitot covers were iced over. What? Really? Jesus. As we're looking at the main cowling, the bonnet, if you like, the cowling of the Cessna, these are air intakes. Most of them supply ram air for your kind of aircon, but they also cool the engine. And up on top here, well, you would have there's an oil cover, so you can check your engine oil. A lot of the time, these screws, they're like... you know, you put your screwdriver in, you turn them kind of half a click, and then they open. So you don't screw them all the way out. There's a little latch or a lock nut on these. And a lot of the time, before your flight, you're going to open up the full cowling, get in there and inspect the engine. You're going to be checking the battery. You're going to be checking on all, you know, the cylinder heads, you know, oil level, all pipes, all that sort of stuff. The air intake, the exhaust manifold, that's what you'd be checking on in there. And as we kind of move around towards the prop and the main spinner, well, the propeller itself, this is modelled off the Macaulay, and you'll be checking this for any damage. Again, on the leading edge, it's funny how the shape of all of these things, I mean, you know, we look at the wing and you can see the shape of the wing, this laminar airflow. We get into wings and how wings work, but the other shapes on the aircraft, well, the prop has the same sort of shape. We'll probably see it better actually if I go into drone camera, just to kind of show you what we're doing, right? So if I were to show you the shape of the propeller, you may or may not have realized or noticed this before, right? But if you notice, right, we zoom in here and I'll show you. If you look at that propeller, it shares the same sort of shape, whereby larger at the leading edge and smaller on the trailing edge. And the idea being is, well, that kind of cuts into the air. That's the idea, yeah? But as we move down here, then we're going to look at the main intake. There's our oil cap up there, home for the engine oil. And as we come down here, we're going to be looking at the intake. Usually you find things like radiators and cooling pads right at the front of the aircraft. It's wind cooled or air cooled a lot of the times. You can also see then your main crank, that's connected to the main drive, and then that goes back in towards where the engine is. As I said, this is powered by a Lycoming IO. It looks nice. It's done pretty well. We have two lights. We have a taxi light and a landing light. Again, visual inspection to make sure these are working. You could test them on the ground before you go flying as well. Then when it comes down to the main landing gear or the nose wheel, you're going to be checking the tire for any kind of lumps or bumps or chunks taken out of it. You have this line here on the side. Anyone see that before? It's in case the tire shifts it shifts its position on the wheel, which can happen. Think about it. If you had the brakes locked on this and you try and move it, well, friction, it's going to try and move. So it could indicate that you have a tire pressure problem. If it's either overinflated or underinflated, there's a chance it'll move on the wheel itself. So that's why that's there. Some aircraft have them. I've found aircraft that don't have them either. They tend to get rubbed off, do you know? You'll be checking on the hinges then for the landing gear bay. And they're all spring fed, and you can see where the hinges are. You're just checking for any damage. Down here, coming off the kind of part of the cowl flap system, but effectively these cowl flaps here, these little flaps, cowl, right? These flaps open and close depending on what your temperature is going to be at. We have a lever inside the aircraft for that, all right? Some aircraft will have a brake on the front gear. This one probably doesn't, but again, it's there to measure. This one doesn't have a front brake. It's there to measure. So if the wheel, as you touch down, they don't even use air on a lot of these. They use it's not liquid nitrogen. Or is it liquid nitrogen? They use a special kind of combination of like very cold and high pressure air to inflate the tires. They may not on this, but I know on other aircraft they do. The Air Corps use it. They used they've canisters of liquid nitrogen. And you know, air nitrogen, I suppose. Do you know? Some of the 727s had brakes in the front, but they weren't that effective. Yeah. The big one is flat spots. Ailerons is here. Good to see you. Flat spots cause sway and unbiased braking when landing. Same with pressures. Yeah. The him. How are you feeling, ailerons? Are you bare yet? You poor old devil. Underneath here, again, you're always going to see dirt and grime and all this sort of stuff. Your oil will run down here. You're going to see it depending on how much oil is in the aircraft. But usually this is kind of, you can see where those exhausts are pointing down. You're going to get kind of dirt and grime down here. It's just the way it is. Not only that, but if you notice on the wheels, but there's no kind of wheel arch or fairing, so it's going to throw whatever's on the ground up. That's what happens. We do have an antenna here for our... That's probably our comm radios, I'd say, and there's another one just beneath that. What else do we have from the back here? This just looks like to be some sort of a what should we call it, like an overflow or a drip. Unsure what that's off at this particular plane, but that's what that's for. What else do we have? Onto the main landing gear then. So same crack again. We can see what they look like. You have the same markings on the tyre. You're going to be inspecting the tyre, and then in and around the back, well, this is where the brake caliper and also your brake fluid. You'd be looking for brake fluid on the ground. You'd be looking for any kind of damage on that pipe, but well, we're looking fairly good here, all as well in the realm. Moving down the left hand side of the aircraft, we'll be doing the very same again. It's going to be checking on the flap, it's going to be checking on the elevator, you're going to be or the aileron and the flap. You're going to be checking out the lights to make sure that they're working. Same crack again on the leading edge, making sure there's no damage, no dints, because it can happen. I mean, a bird strike causes all sorts of damage to the airframe. This is our aircraft registration number. That's my own, as a custom one, and usually you'd have like a first aid box back here as well, or an emergency kit. Some aircraft have them. Otherwise it's just more general cargo area. Same crack again. You'll notice with this aircraft, so see these kind of pads here on the leading edge, right? Now again, we need to look to see, well, are they on the front? So they're not on the front, but we do have something here in the back. Now that could be just a livery, chances are it is, but on aircraft you'll see this kind of a membrane sit on the leading edge. That's usually down to their anti-ice or de-ice capabilities, right? Muse fan, good to see you. Mr. Square Lee, good to see you. Welcome aboard. I'm like a bag of kicked in squirrels right now. Jesus. Keep well, ailerons, keep well. This one here, these are kind of static ports. Basically what these do, well, you might have seen them on some vehicles as well. They put them on the ground. It's basically, you know, it's to push out the buildup of kinetic and electric charge and all this sort of stuff. And you'll see them flapping and moving away in the air. You tend to get them on the main wings as well. So these guys here, well, these are off our elevator. And on the elevator, you can see you have an individual little tab on your elevator. See this here? And this has its own little hinges showing you, well, then this little section of your elevator can actually move. This is your elevator trim. Ever notice that? You know when you trim your aircraft? Well, this is the gadget that starts moving. Now, depending on the aircraft, there could be one or two. This one has one. So your elevation trim is happening on the right-hand side of the aircraft, meaning, well, you know, by looking at this, if this trim tab starts to go up, as in if this rises, yeah, that means the air pressure is going to be pushing it down. That means your nose is going to go up ever so slightly. Now, with this aircraft, you have, well, with any single engine propeller, you're going to have something called P-torque, whereby it's the rotation of that propeller, well, physics take over, and it's going to try and oscillate the body of the aircraft. So what you would have to do, usually in a real world Cessna, if it had it, if you're going to be applying elevator trim, sometimes you might have to adjust the rudder trim. Right, and we have switches to do this. There are other aircraft that don't have switches. You have to set it off before you go flying. And how you would do that is, it's based on the weight and the balance of the aircraft. That's why weight and balance is very important. You spend a lot of time learning that in your pilot training. But that's what that does. And as we move up now, our main kind of rudder, this is our horizontal stabilizer. So our rudder control, again, you'd be looking for something that you can adjust the trim. Now, it doesn't need to have its own independent trim, because when you trim it, it'll actually move the entire rudder. So if you see the rudder moving here like that, on this aircraft, if you add in rudder trim, it's literally moving the entire rudder, and that's to counteract any of those, right? So from the elevator going up and down, yeah, that all moves as one unit. But as I said, you have elevator trim, which is going to be here. You see where the hinge is, and as you're adjusting that, that'll move based on, you know, how much you're moving the thing inside in the cockpit. Super Ty is here, good to see you. Muttley is here, welcome in, lads. Balut, 45 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, Balut. Hope you're well. Towards the rear of the aircraft, we do have a single light, position light, and then underneath this little hoop here, well, this belongs to our tie down. When we're securing the aircraft, if it's parked outside, usually you have a bit of rope that ties onto a weight, or there could be a ground pin or lock in the ground, That's to stop the aircraft from tipping over if you're leaving the thing outside. That's what that's for, all right? So again, you're checking to make sure all the hinges are grand, the leading edges are all grand, there's no damage, everything's moving without kind of restriction, and there's no like sounds, right? Because well, they need a bit of grease. As you continue on, more underneath, a lot of these kind of boxes and pods, well, they're all to do with your avionics, radios, high frequency, very high frequency, and the like. If there's a GPS fitted, that there kind of looks like a GPS box. Again, you have high frequency aerials. Most of this just comes down to your radio communication. You know what I mean? The beta isn't compatible, correct. The beta doesn't work with the standard release. This here, we have a baggage area. Again, weights and balances, mainly weights. They're going to be put all over the aircraft because they're in the POH as well. The aircraft has a maximum takeoff weight. It has what's called a useful load, right? But also when it comes to letting the pilot know, well, look, how much can I actually put in here depending on how much fuel? And you can see with the Cessna, there's a fair bit of stowage area, right? You can put a lot of stuff into this, bearing in mind you have headrests on the seat. Most aircraft I'd say that have like, you know, like a cargo net you can kind of pull down, just means that nothing's going to fall in on your passengers, because you're not just dealing with the forward and rear side to side motion you get in a car, right? The things will go up forward, it's like a boat, you know what I mean? So this is where we can this is where we can put all our stuff. We do have a little shelf here as well. It says here, baggage or auxiliary passenger forward of baggage door latched, 80 pounds maximum, and they're saying software only. Now, software is not like software in your PC. This is the likes of like bags, jackets, that kind of stuff. Don't put anything heavy up on that shelf, all right? As we continue then, we find ourselves back in at the cockpit, and from here then, well, this is where we continue on with our before start checks. Other things you're going to be doing on the aircraft, you have a number of these, right? This gadget here, this is for checking the fuel. So you have a number of fuel tanks on the aircraft, usually in the wings. And this guy here, see this light? I think that's an ice light. That's the idea. Your wing light is for is actually, what's that for? It looks like a courtesy light. Do we have one on the far side? Yeah, so we've lights there. Actually, I'm not too sure what they're for. Interesting. They're like courtesy lights, to be honest. Some aircraft, they'll give you a light out on the wing shining back, or it'll put a light kind of on the nose shining over, meaning when you're looking out to look at the leading edge of the wing, it's called an ice light. It's shining a light up on the ice. All right. What else didn't I show you now? What else didn't I show you? I mean, it's kind of it, isn't it? It's kind of it. All the different fuel drain points on the aircraft, you'd be checking all that to make sure there's no water in the fuel, which can happen, right? So, friend, yes, indeed, this is the 182 from Coronado. They've modelled it very well. Coronado always make great looking aircraft. You know what I mean? They're superb, absolutely superb. What else were we going to look at there now? The lighting for ice, wasn't that it? Oh yeah, there's something else I want to show you on this plane as well. Do you see this gadget here? You're probably wondering, Murph, what are they? See that? I don't even know what that is. I'll go to the far side as well. Do they have two? No, they've only one. That's interesting. So they've only one. Anyone know what that is? It's a mirror, correct and right. Now, it's not a vanity mirror, you know, making sure your eyebrows are straight. That's for actually looking at your landing gear. That's how rudimentary it is. Look out the window, army gear up. Yeah, they're up. All right, so it's a mirror to check your gear. I want to know the reason why they thought that was needed. You know what I mean? Because yes, your gear indicator will show that it's up or down, but like, if it's not, or if it is, and your instruments failed, well, how can you see your landing gear? You can't. You know, you can probably look out the window a little bit, but that's what that mirror is there for. It's there to check on your landing gear. It's kind of mad, isn't it? Right, so we'll pretend now that our walk around has gone terribly well. There's no issue at all, and, you know, all is well in the round. So as we jump back in here, we're going to use our tablet. Now, we can open and close the doors ourselves, right? But I'll just use the tablet to make sure that they're done and dusted. I'm back here now. So we're going to close the pilot door. We're going to close the baggage door. All right, lovely hurdling. So before we do anything in the aircraft, the very first thing you do, because we have a retractable landing gear, but we need to make sure that the gear handle is in the down position, in which it is. That's the first thing we check. The second thing we check, we make sure that the flap handle matches whatever the flaps are doing. So for example, the flap handle on this is up, and we know outside, well, the flaps are up. And again, this is kind of real world health and safety things when it comes to your aircraft. If for whatever reason, you know, you decided to hit this switch. These are electrically driven. So if you just hit these switches, right, and you have someone outside now, you know, they could be standing directly under the wing, right? Or they could be cleaning or whatever. It doesn't matter. As soon as I turn on the batteries, you're going to hear those flaps moving. So that's why it's a visual check. So just have a listen. See the shadow look? There go the flaps. So they, you know, bang on me head, right? So you need to be careful of these things in the real world when you're doing your checks with your aircraft, right? So if we have to bring the flaps back up again, you know, and next thing there's someone standing there, you know, for whatever reason, you know, they're putting bags in and they might be leaning on that or whatever. That's the idea. So just be careful. That flap handle, it'll react when the battery's on. The gear, not so much because, well, it's leaning on the gear pin, so you shouldn't be able to gear up. But again, keep the gear handle down, right? Because you have hydraulic pressure, and as soon as it starts getting lighter, the motor will try and run. You have that prop spinning, it's going to make contact with the ground, and they're fairly expensive. Fairly expensive. Right, so we verified that the gear handle is down, flap handle is up, and let's come on over here. So we have our main fuel tank selector. We have the left or right or both. Now with this thing, we're going to keep it on both. No point going left or right. You could go left or right, again, if you're working on weight and balance. Single pilot, and it's me, only me flying the aircraft, well, straight away, I'm a whole load of weight on just one side. I would start burning the left fuel tank first until it runs down enough to compensate for my weight, and then I'll put them back onto both fuel tanks. And the reason why you do that, it just saves me an awful lot of physical work trying to keep the aircraft going straight. You know what I mean? Now, we mentioned trims, so here's our elevator trim, nose up, nose down. This is the gadget that moves the flap at the very, very back of the aircraft. I'm going to move this now, and we should notice now our flap on the tail, see it there? It's after shooting up. Yeah, that makes sense? You understand how it works? And if I were to take this off and I wanted to move it backwards, see it coming down now? That's me using the trim button that I use. And that's your trim working. That's how it works, lads, all right? Okay, makes total sense. Jump back in here. And we'll make sure that it's in the takeoff position. And that's based on kind of normal loading, normal weight. All right. The rudder trim, same crack again. We can move this. Let's bring it all the way over to one side. I think this one here does it. So as I'm moving the rudder trim, and we didn't find a particular trim tab, again, we look at the aircraft. Look at that. Look at the rudder. It's no longer straight, is it? So it's moving the entire rudder on your stabilizer. It's moving the entire thing to add in or compensate for trim. It's probably not a great angle, but you can see that it's no longer dead straight. It's starting to turn. See that? And that's your trim. All right? Okay. So we understand at least the fundamentals of our flight control systems. And that's why you want to make sure things are going in the right way. And if you ever find that your aircraft is moving left or moving right or whatever, these are the guys you mess with. Other aircraft would then have aileron trim. This one doesn't have it, but they might have electronic trims built into your ailerons. This aircraft just doesn't have it, but some of the more modern ones will. Again, you might see a small independent little trim flap on your main ailerons as well. The guys up on top here, that's where the fuel goes. Left and right tank, and then they feed back into the center tank. So they're gravity fed, meaning you're not going to do well upside down in this thing. The fuel is in, and you can see the detail even there. Jesus, that's actually very good. See the textures there from our fuel tanks. So obviously, you know, a bit of fuel got up there. The wind hits off it, bit of dirt and whatever grime. There's a problem there with one of their decals. It looks to be double printed. It's actually floating. Alright, Coronado, I found a problem. We found a bug. That decal, if we look at it carefully, is actually floating. It's not sitting on the aircraft surface. And this can happen a lot of the time. Decals, when developers, they will rarely go to this level of detail. Some developers are very good, but this is what I go looking for. If I have access to something early on to show it off. I mean, these are just things I look for. So you can kind of, Jesus Murph, you can kind of see where that decal isn't sitting properly. That's a simple little fix for Coronado, but they need to be told about it. But you won't notice it otherwise. But now we know it's there, right? Brilliant. Right, so we continue on back inside the aircraft, and we're going to check our electrical panel. Nothing here, unfortunately, in the 182 RG. This isn't modeled. right? Yeah, the screws are also floating. Yeah, the whole thing. All the decals are. The circuit breakers, these are like inline fuses. That's effectively what they are. So you know, like a fuse in your house, you know, the big switch? Circuit breaker. They're the very same. Circuit breaker is more of an American terminology. Inline fuses, we refer to them as fuses, but they are breakers. They're circuit breakers. So if they pop out, power is no longer going to that specific system, but it doesn't short the rest of the system. You know what I mean? So they're breakers. So usually if they pop, you push them back in. If it pops again, you got a problem somewhere. Usually water, gremlins are living somewhere. So you make sure all of these are in. Fuel tank, we've selected both. These guys here, these are the cowl flaps. I was telling them, remember the front of the plane where the exhausts are? So the cowl flaps are now closed, and if we open them, you see them drop down there. All right? Cowl flaps, that would help the engine cool quicker. In particular in and around the exhausts. Right, grand. Let's continue on. So there's our trims. This little mad little gadget here, see this? This is off your radio. Would you believe it? It's a hand microphone. Hello? Modern avionics, of course, would have the microphone built into the headset. They've one of these guys, look, and they'd be chatting away to their heart's content. But in a lot of the older aircraft that you'll see, they'll have that fitted. All right. Is the RG only available via the marketplace, Murph? Yeah, I think so, Dougal. Yeah, I think so, man. I think so. Most Coronado aircraft are kind of marketplace only. What else do we have here? So circuit breakers. Here's our handbrake. We're going to make sure your parking brake is set on. You have your alternate static air option. I don't think that's simulated in Flight Sim 2020 or 24. The need to put on alternate air, and again, it's for helping the vacuum system and all this. I've never had an issue or a failure there. We've more circuit breakers down the left hand side, and we also have our radio master switch, or this is your avionics master switch. We leave that off until the engine is running because the voltage and the battery it freaks out. It'll short, and that's a real world thing that happens there. So moving up, then we have our battery, our main battery switch, and we have an alternator. There's no generator as such. It runs off an alternator. The alternator is belt driven. It's a no for me then. Dougal, did you? Oh wait, no, as in you don't want to buy from the marketplace, or it's not appearing in your marketplace. The alternator is belt driven, and that's what's recharges the battery. We have an auxiliary fuel pump. We have our mag switches off, right, left, both, and the mag switch also doubles up as your starter switch. You have some internal lighting here. Yeah, avoiding it. Yeah, marketplace. Yeah. Over here, then we have a couple of lighting. So here's our pitot heat. This is the button we were saying that heats up that little pitot sensor. We have our nav beacon, taxi, and landing lights. We have our gear handle, main gear handle, and you'll have lights to show you gear in transit or gear is locked. All right, lovely. We have a digital fuel gauge showing us fuel burn, you know, how much endurance you have when you know, all that. It's all to do with your fuel. We'll have a look at that in a while. You also have then your vacuum suction, as it's called. So once the aircraft powers up, suction systems kick on, and that's where we're going to be getting power to our gyros and all this sort of stuff as well. So once you see that you have sufficient vac suction, it's anywhere between 4.6 and 5.4. That'll be running fine. Standard chrono or the clock. Mic and phone jack, they're not modelled, but that's where you put in your headphones. Usually your old, what are they called? David Cleary's, pop them in there, or David Clark, pop them in there. Up here we have our emergency locating transponder. So we keep it in the arm position, test button. So that just sends out a little emergency transponder if things go terribly wrong. We have a turn and a slip coordinator. The airplane itself is indicating the turn, so that whole thing will move. That's a little picture of your airplane. That'll move left or right and show you an angle. Then you have a slip coordinator. The slip is basically what you think, the tail of the airplane and the nose of the airplane. Well, if it yaws, yeah, so if you're sitting in a seat that you can kind of, you know, twists, that's what a yaw means. So if you're trying to look dead forward and next thing move your body to the left and you're facing this way, that's called yaw. That's the sensation you get. You're moving forward, but you can feel yourself moving sideways. That little bubble, that'll show us what we're doing, or the ball, that'll show us what we're doing. Next up, we have our airspeed indicator, which we can adjust based on outside temperature and also wind speeds and all this. We tend to leave this at 0. Pressure, altitude, we can change that if needs be. What else? We have our tail number. We have our artificial horizon. You have a HSI here that's going to show us mainly towards our heading bug and also a course. This is very handy if we want to do the likes of GPS or VOR, ADF, all that jazz will come in there. Next up, we have your altimeter along with your barometric setting. So aircraft will always be zeroed to the local baro of said aircraft because, well, altitude heights change depending on the barometric pressure and temperature, right? So, you know, the higher you get, the less air and all of that. That's a lesson unto itself. We have some more GPS nav options over here. This is going to be for VOR in particular. This is our ADF, or automatic direction finder. Not as precise as some of our more precise instruments, but it works. Vertical speed, that's going to show you how high, or sorry, that'll show you the velocity in which your aircraft is climbing or descending, and it's measured in vertical feet, or vertical speed, 100 feet per minute. So if this needle goes up to 5 up, that means you're climbing at 500 feet per minute. So if you were to keep it at 500, maintain your speed, set a clock, well, after 1 minute, you're going to be at 500 feet. That's the idea, all right? Lovely. Moving on, here in the center stack we have some beautiful, fancy, very modern avionics. Anything from a 430, a 530, maybe a 600, or we've gone here with the 750. I haven't seen many of these aircraft with 750s in them because these are about $8,000 just for the avionics. They're wild expensive, but they're very good. It's all touchscreen, it's all modern. Below that then we have our Bendix King, and this is to do with our main communications. So your comm, not as precise as something more precise. Yeah. It makes total sense to me. So you have your comm for your communication and I have your nav for navigation. These are frequencies that we can put in there. Below that, we have a CAP 140. This is your autopilot unit, which will give us heading, nav, approach, reverse course, altitude. We can arm it, set the baro, and then up or down, and we have dials here as well. We'll be using that a fair bit today. And here is our ADF. So we can go ADF, we can go frequency, and so on. Last but not least, then we have our KT76A, fancy name, but it's just a standard transponder. It's a Mode C transponder with ident in there as well. So we're flying VFR, so we're going to keep this puppy at 1200. Nice. Carburetor heat, that'll heat the carburetor in case we're dealing with any kind of cold air or icing. Our main throttle, usually with these, you twist them, that changes the friction in which you can push these or pull them out. I tend to leave them fairly tight. But yeah, that's your throttle, that's your prop. We can change the pitch of the propeller depending on our airspeed. You get more of a bite into the propeller, or worst case scenario, you bring it all the way back. You can feather the propeller. It's no longer biting into the air and it does windmills, right? If you had a twin engine and you needed to shut down one of them for whatever reason, you would feather that propeller that you're shutting down, because if you don't, it means you're going to have just constant drag, and it's constantly spinning. So you'd feather it so it's no longer biting the air. This is our mixture to do with the fuel-air mixture with the engine, and depending on your altitude and the temperature, this is going to affect either smooth running and your fuel efficiency for the aircraft. It's, as I said, the higher you go, well, the less air there is, therefore you need to adjust the mixture to allow more air to get into the engine, and so on, all right? That's what that does. Flap handle, we've already had a look at it. Over on the right-hand side, we have some backup gauges, but we also have our fuel quantities, left tank, right tank. We have our ampemeter here showing us the amps, are they discharging or charging. We have our cylinder head temperature, and then we have oil temperature and oil pressure. Your manifold pressure, that can be up or down depending on the temperature as well. Your EGT is your exhaust gas temperature. Manifold pressure is what you think it is. It's how much pressure per inch is being exerted onto the manifold, as in the engine in itself, yeah? And then you have your revs per minute of your engine. All right. This Cessna, it likes to cruise at usually 21 or 2200, and the same with the manifold pressure. We'd be looking for about 2200 squared. We call it 2200 squared. Do you know?
You're gonna see some serious shit.
What's the switch above the altitude indicator? So on this particular aircraft, we have a little switch here, and these are the main panel lights. We'll turn these on and off a little bit later on.
Hello there.
And that's kind of it. You have that's your main RPM. As pilot flying, we're going to be watching this. We've cabin air, cabin heat, and then we have defrost options. They're just all fed in off your air system, right? Fred, thank you very much indeed. Welcome in. So lads, that's kind of our familiarization with the airplane. It's time to start this machine up and out on the road we go, right? So we're going to start off with our master battery switch, and we're going to get our nav light and beacon light turned on. We can see now that it's reading fuel in our tanks. We should have 48 gallons in both. We haven't used anything. Remaining fuel is 48.8. Fuel flow at the moment is 0. It's not going to give us any information here in relation to endurance or otherwise because the engine is off. Makes total sense. So engine controls are next. So prop goes to full, mixture goes fully rich, open a throttle about an inch, about a half an inch, well, an inch, half an inch, give or take, right? And what we're going to do here, we have a primer. So we have an auxiliary fuel pump and then we have a primer as well. So we're going to go for the auxiliary booster pump or fuel pump. You should hear that on an audible level. You can now see your fuel flow. See that? Turn on the pump. And we're going to do a quick prime as well. About 4 shots of prime. You can build them now. Alright. Engine is primed. We're getting sufficient fuel. If you increase the throttle, you're going to see that fuel flow coming up. Basically, you're allowing more fuel get in there. So we're going to go for a start. So we out the window. Clear prop! And you kind of have to say clear prop, not as if you were talking to yourself at mass. Clear prop. You say it good and loud because if there are people anywhere near the vicinity of your prop, you need to let them know you're going to start it up before it's too late. And they walk there and next thing, you know, they're flying mints because they've walked into your propeller. So you don't just say clear prop and immediately start. Clear prop, you watch. No one there? Right, grand. Finton, stay back, Finton. And now we'll go for a start. So our mags is going to go from right, left, both. And we're going to try and start it. The airplane should start within 6 seconds. If it doesn't, stop the start and we check out what's wrong. So here's a start. Good start. Watch our RPM. Keep this guy over here at about 1,000. We can see now that our oil temperature and oil pressure, these guys should start to move. Close our window. And we're going to turn on our alternator. Jesus, someone in a big plane has just appeared in front of me. Right. Okay, so alternator is on. That's taking the power off the battery. And you can see now that your oil temperature is starting to come up, oil pressure is coming up, and your amps are now charging. If we turned off the alternator, that's the battery, Murphy. If we turn off the alternator, Jesus! If we turn off the alternator, you can see now the battery is now discharging. This means that your battery's going to run flat. There's no way to charge it up. Captain Gaiman, you absolute legend. 5 gifted tier 1 subs to the community. Thank you very, very much indeed. Captain Gaiman, lads, if you just got a tier 1 sub with thanks to Captain Gaiman, well, do be sure to say thank you. What an absolute ledge. Right, so we'll turn this gadget back on. And you can see now that we're getting a positive charge. This will eventually make its way back to 0 when the battery is fully charged. Alright? Right. Let us continue on. From here, we're now going to start turning on our main avionics. Avionics, radios come alive, and all your avionics start powering up at this stage. Alright? We're also going to double check to see our suction, so our vacuum system is now running. Fuel pressure is looking good. It's saying 4 or 0.4. We increase this. What we're looking for here is any difference between our fuel flow and our fuel pressure, yeah? We'll have a look at that in a moment, because if I were to lean the mixture out, see that drop of fuel pressure? And that's me pulling out the mixture, see this? So in what I'm doing by pulling out the mixture, I'm allowing more air get in there rather than fuel, yeah? And you can see what it's doing to our fuel pressure, but it starts dropping off. So yeah, that works, all right? Super duper. What else do we need to do here? So our avionics, well, we'll start powering this guy up. Initial altitude, we're going to stick it in there at 3,000 feet initially. And we're going to go to our flight plan. So, well, let's put in what we have, right? So, someone put in exclamation point route, and that'll give you the route. So it's going to say, right, well, what's our destination? Where's our landing spot? It's Mike 0 Oscar. Playa de Oro, that's where we're going. And we're going to put a waypoint in there as well. So it's going to be Mike Tango Foxtrot. El Jabali Airport. Alright. And we go back to our map. And this is how our route now looks like. Which matches what I have on Navigraph as well. Down and across. Typical Murphy fashion. We're going down and across. Right, lovely hurdling. Other things we can do with this GTN, by the way. This is a free GTN you can grab. However, you know, you can get the payware version, and they add in a lot more functionality. What we could do here, we can actually go in and check weather at this facility, right? So, for instance, we can go down here and go to waypoint information, and we want to go in and have a look at an airport. This is our, that's MMZO, so let's look at our starting airport, MMZP. P. Go ahead and pop that in here. And if we look at our weather data, okay, I can't find a METAR, right, for this one, because it's not really, well, it's not modeled. So if we have a look at Guadalajara International, which is just down the road, Mike Golf Lima, Guadalajara, and if we look on weather, you can actually get a live METAR on this, right? Where's this now? Angry Lou says, Murph, how do you fix the needles disappearing from the gauges without a normal position? So what I recommend, because there is LOD issues, go to your seat position, right? And just start zooming your camera in. And as you zoom in, move your viewpoint back a smidgen so you can actually see them. Do you know what I mean? Or move in and then zoom in. Yeah, there's an LOD issue here. Caranada, I need to update that. Yeah, 100%. Mike Zulu Papa, that's the one. So it's not really in settings. It's more to do with just zoom your camera in. You know what I mean? Well, we're paying for it, the GTN. It is. Now, it doesn't really matter which GTN you use. I like PMS 50s for the simplicity. The TDS one, which is really, really good. It's, it uses the actual real world Garmin trainers. So you're getting a way more realistic or authentic experience. I don't want to say realistic. You're getting a more authentic Garmin kind of gadget. However, the PMS 50 for me, it's excellent. Excellent. It works just as I remember using a GTN 750. It's absolutely fine. So that's what we can do. We can also read up some NOTAMs if they were there, or if there were frequencies online, and the devil knows what. All right. So back to our maps page. You have other things in here. You can sync this to Navigraph. You have your charts. You have all these things as well. All right. So 3,000 feet. We're going to put our squawk machine into standby. That'll only come on once we get to move. Pitot heat can come on. Taxi light is now on. We're going to start moving now in a moment. And that fuel pump, turn it off, and we'll turn it back on then when we're going flying. Right, so our departure runway based on the windages, lads. The wind, go back in here and have a quick look at the wind. So the winds are calm. So it doesn't really matter what runway we're going for. So we're just going to take off. So looking at it here, we've massive runways. Let's go with... We'll go into 08s. We'll go runway 08. Right. So we're going to come off the brake. Off the brake. Got to make sure then that your altimeter is set. Your directional indicator is synced with your magnetic compass here as well. Bit of power moving forward. Parking brake is off, and we'll start maneuvering. Now with the 182 you can also open up the vents. There's your thermostat up there as well, air temperature, and you'll hear them as you fly, man. You'll hear that air rush inside the cockpit.
Dreamy, sleepy, nutty, snoozy, snooze.
Very, very well. Fluffy Tackle, good to see you. 777, welcome in, man. Hope you're well. So we're just going to taxi here across the ramp. We're going onto this little taxiway here, and we're going to head down towards the 08s. Now, is Join FS up and running? In you go. Got a Comanche over there, looking good. Who's in the Comanche today? Filthy. Beautiful. Got an Albatross as well. So as I said, this Cessna, it's one of the better ones from Caranada. I really enjoy flying this airplane. They've done a great job at it. And for general aviation, it's not everyone's bag, it's not your typical airline or whatever else, but there's still quite a good bit of complexity when it comes to these airplanes. But yeah, you can just jump into them and have the crack, but you spend a bit of time learning the systems, learning what they should do when they do it, and also how can I identify something when it doesn't do it. That's what it's all about. You know what I mean? We're going to we can hang a right here. We'll follow Angry Lou. There's plenty of us that like both GA and Big Birds. Yeah, 100%. And both offer you something very, very different. Like your small general aviation aircraft, there's, if you're into your systems and you like the realism, there's a lot to offer there. And the navigation, the looking out the window, figuring out where you are. With the airliner stuff, Jesus, this taxiway is closed. It's grand, Angry Lou, say nothing. With your airliners, there's a lot more complexities because, well, the systems of the aircraft are, well, considerably bigger. And depending on said airplane, well, you could be using something like an Airbus, which has a ton of automation, right? All the lights we have on this plane are savage as well. I think we have a ceiling light here as well. We do, look. Tons of lights in this airplane from Coronado. But a lot of the time that you're, do you know, the, whatchamacallit, the systems are so automated, and they kind of have to be. You know, you compare that with like flying the Mad Dog or any of those. Lot less procedures with GA2. Yeah, they're less restrictive, 100%. I love them though. I love them. Let's have a low voltage warning over here. That's interesting. So see the way our amp meter now, she's almost back at 0. Yeah, that's a good sign. Now, if your alternator failed, there's nothing to kind of start shouting at you saying, "Uh-oh, your alternator failed." You'll be checking your amp meter. Yeah, if that suddenly goes into discharging, you got a problem. Now, it'll discharge as soon as the engine stops because the alternator, it's belt driven. There is a belt feeding that, and the belt is connected to the engine. So every revolution that the engine is doing is turning a gear, and that gear is turning the belt, and the belt is then turning that motor, you know? The Corvallis, it's a great little plane. Visibility isn't great, yeah. It reminds me of the SR-22. But yeah, that Corvallis is really nice. Very modern as well. So we continue on. Get our transponder up and running when we need it. Now, it's usually taxi light off, landing light on. I've never done that, even in the real world. I've always just put on all your light. You're not wasting electricity, you know what I mean? Some aircraft, you'll turn off the landing light. Sorry, you'll turn off the taxi light and just leave on the landing light when you're going to take off. But I just leave them all on. I've always done it. Anything that puts more light on the runway that I can see, get it out there. Just realised why Mexican boxers are so good. It's because they all live at 5,000 or 6,000 feet above sea level. And they have stamina. Yeah, 100%. Hadouken. Yeah, absolutely, man. Now, do we need to use some flaps for takeoff? Probably not, even though we are at altitude. We're about 5,000 feet, meaning we're going to have density altitude. Density altitude basically means, well, the temperature outside is impacted by the height of your ground level, right? Meaning, if we, well, let's check. We should have density altitude on this. If I go to, where will I find that now? How do we measure our density altitude? I can go really old school and use manifold pressure based on the POH. Right. That's the first bit of a trick. Who does not want to move? That looks broken. Look, that should be able to move. Interesting. Now we'll do what's called a run up here as well, right? So what we're going to do, we'll go back to density altitude in a moment. We're going to bring our RPM up to about 1800. Now usually you point this into the wind. There is no wind. So what we're going to do, we're going to do a mag test first. So there's 2 magnetos for the engine. If we drop one, we should see a drop of about 50 to 100 RPM, give or take. Back to both. We'll go on the left mag, or sorry, the right mag. 2 over. There's our drop. Back to both. So both mags are working and they're smooth. Carb heat. This should also give us a drop. Similar to what the mags are doing. It's about 50 RPM. Increase the RPM now up to 2,000. That EGT needle is having the laugh. And then we're going to cycle the prop. 3 things we need to do. It's actually 4. The first one we're going to see is a drop in RPM. There's a drop in RPM. Second thing we're going to look for is a drop in manifold pressure. Sorry, an increase in manifold pressure. There she goes, ever so slightly. And then the last thing we're going to check is a drop in fuel. So there's your fuel usage going all the way down to 8, back up to normal, and off she fires again. The last check you do in the real world, if it was a real kind of run up, when you cycle the prop for the 3rd time, you're looking for oil. If there was a problem, oil would spurt up out of the gadget and ruin your day, do you know? Alright, so density altitude, that's what I need to do first. So before we get going as well, outside air temperature here is, real world is 17 degrees. Alright, so if we're 17 degrees, do we have, we do. Indicated altitude is 5,000, call it 400. Our barrow is 30 across the nose. So density altitude is 6,453. What I mean by this is, right, you notice when I said the higher you go, the less air there is, yeah, it thins out, the less dense the air is, yeah. So it basically means we have density altitude to consider when you're flying in and around mountains or, you know, high altitude. The reason being is the aircraft is going to perform as if it's at these much higher altitudes. So for example, the density altitude here, it's not too bad, but it is 1,200 feet more than what we actually are. That basically means the engine is going to behave as if it was at, you know, 12 or 1,300 feet higher than what it actually is. Not enough to worry about just yet, but you could be at an airport, you know, its elevation is 5,000, but the density altitude is giving it friggin', you know, an extra 3,000. That means the performance of the engine is going to be the same as if it were at 8,000 feet. And that's density altitude. Right, there's a whole ton of learning in there. We can do it with the GTN 750, that's working fine, but it's just something to be aware of. Always make sure you have the right mixture settings if and when you have density altitude. And because we have a little bit of density altitude, well, I'm going to use some flaps here for takeoff. Flaps will allow me to fly the airplane at a much lower speed, meaning that I should be able to get airborne a little bit quicker off the runway because, well, we should achieve flight at a lower speed. So that's the plan, right? So transponder is on. We're walking, we're talking, and we are squawking. We're going to point this guy on our runway heading, which is pretty much 08 degrees. And the rest, lads, well, let's see what happens. So, power coming in. Here's our takeoff power set. Airspeed alive. And we're looking for about 60. There's 50. 55. There's 60. Oopsie daisy. Alright, we're flying. Pause the rate of climb. Bring the gear in. And we're going to wait for that light to pop up to show us that the gear is up. Light up, gear is up. In the real plane, you check out the mirror to make sure that your gear is indeed up. Alright, coming up over 100 feet. We're climbing nicely, coming up now on 80 knots. Once we're at 200-300 feet, go ahead and bring the flaps in. Now once your flaps come in, it's going to give you a tendency to nose down, so we're going to use some of our elevator trim to counteract that. All right.
Runway 16 via Alpha and Charlie. Runway 16 via Alpha and Charlie, moving 824 Foxtrot Delta.
Alright, we're looking good. Just a nice little climb out here. Beautiful morning here. This is Guadalajara in Mexico. Absolutely gorgeous. All our stuff is working. I've loads of traffic alerts coming up in the aircraft. That's awesome. So we're going to spin around to our left-hand side now. Not really following the traffic pattern. We're just doing our own thing. But, oh yeah, look at that, man. That's beautiful, isn't it? Now our cowl flaps are still open, but that's okay. We can close them now. That also has an impact on the drag of the airplane, how much air is hitting it. So we're relatively clean now. That's a great little plane, isn't it? So we're going to circle around the back of the airport. Easy does it, Jemima. And we'll just kind of circle around, get a bit of altitude. And we want to be 3,000 over normal, so that's going to be an altitude of about 8,000 feet. That's what we're going to dial in. And we're going to get our autopilot to help us out here just a little bit as well. Take the pressure off us. So we're going to arm 8,000 feet. We're going to go heading mode, and we want to climb using vertical speed. Yeah, around 800 feet a minute is good. This is a pay where it is. It is. Can you see yourself in the mirror right now? We can't, Pfeiffer. I wish you could. Jesus. Like, the mirror kind of works, but it's just not showing the airplane. It's kind of a limitation with flight sim at the moment. Do you know what I mean? Okay, so far so good. Now, as we're still climbing, we got to keep an eye on some stuff, right? So our exhaust gas temperature, we can now start bringing out a little bit of mixture because we want maximum power. However, we're going to bring this RPM back into the green. Roughly 2,400. And our manifold pressure, 21, 22, about 23-ish hundred. We're maintaining a climb here of about 90 knots. That's fine. At 800 feet a minute, that's very good power. And we're going to start a little left turn here now. We'll keep it straight forward over to 270 due west. Looking decent. That's going to keep the airport on our left hand side. We're just going to fly around the pattern and then we're going to ramble off to where it is we want to go to. So Guadalajara, that's the big city we're at, lads, in Mexico. If anyone watched like Narcos Mexico, oh Jesus, then brilliant, absolutely brilliant. So far so good. Temperature and pressure, we're looking good. Batteries recharging good out here now. For whatever reason, we're using a lot more in the electrics. Let's find out where we peaked it, roughly here. This little red needle, that's just helping us. It's going to show us where the peak is. And that's either going to be lean of peak or rich of peak. Alright? Fuel is good. Temperatures and pressures are good. Fuel pressure is good. Suction, a little bit high, but it's good. It's still within the greens. So we're doing all right, lads. We're doing all right. So what we'll do on this mad Sunday flight on a bank holiday, well, if you're currently flying along, if you're on the Xbox, press 1. If you're on the PC, press 2. If you're using JoinFS or indeed Skynet, you press number 3. And if you're there wondering what time do we get our beloved Easter eggs at, well, you press number 4. Hello, Fireflies. Welcome to the Flying Circus. We live stream every Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 1900 Zulu time, right here. all right. 15 on the PC, 2 on console, and 3 on Join FS. Nice one, lads, nice. It's just a nice Sunday cruise. Great sounds in this plane, isn't it? So we're cruising now 3,000 feet above what we wanted. That's 8,000 feet, but we're only about 3 over the ground. It's going to be a left turn-ish, and we're going to get ourselves onto a magenta line. We're going to line up with our direct 2. So let's put in a left turn here over to, let's call it 120 degrees. Looking good. Beautiful scenery, isn't it? Absolutely stunning. Do you know? Bit of tunage here over on the Twitch. Yeah, man, that's pretty, isn't it? Like there's volcanoes and everything on this flight plan today. Beautiful. So let me see. The heading that we're going to be using, set our course to 181 degrees. And as we fly closer to that magenta line, see this guy here? This yellow line, that's going to move in, and then we turn our aircraft to that heading. Yeah? That's the plan. We got fog in the valleys. Yes, sir. That's Guadalajara. It's a huge, sprawling city. Massive. So, see this guy moving in? And this is following our GPS route, yeah? So as this starts to come in, once we're at roughly 5 degrees, we're going to change our heading to intercept. Easy does it. Instrument flying, lads. Start our turn. (181 degrees). We're looking good. And we should be fairly bang on. Level off. And we're now right onto our magenta line. Take the pressure off us. We can go nav mode with our autopilot. Nav mode, and that just follows that magenta line. We're looking good. Man alive, look at the scenery. Savage. Looking good, lads. Isn't that gorgeous? Look at the detail in flights in 2024. Stunning. Cyrus T, the man of teal. Good to see a happy Sunday, happy Easter. Come over this way, camera, a little bit. There we go. So with our mountain flying, lads, that should be fun. Happy new bike day. Did you get a new Beamer? Tom is here, good to see you. Happy Easter, man. Oh man, look at the view, look. Jesus. Isn't that stunning? Think about it, lads. Here we are on a Sunday in Flight Sim in Mexico. Doesn't get much better than this. Lowpox, good to see you, man. Jeez, look at this. You got volcanoes and everything over there, look. Beautiful. Oh, look at that view. Look at the state of that view. A Triumph Tiger you got. Nice. There's a Wild Dougal. A Triumph Tiger of all the things. That's awesome, man. Stunning. This will get the old blood flow going. A Triumph Tiger. I need to check that out, right? The way it goes a bit slower in 24? Yes, it is. So a Triumph what? Triumph Tiger. Ooh. What CC is it, Cyrus? The Explorer 1200? Oh, man. Did you just buy yourself that machine right there? Jesus! In silver? Man alive, that's pretty. How long are Triumph making vehicles? 1983. No, that's Triumph Motorcycles. Triumph Engineering, 1886, lads. Jesus. What a beautiful bike. Isn't that gorgeous, lads, isn't it? Cyrus T, congratulations on your new machine there, Red Rider. It's very pretty. Isn't it? Alright, how are we looking, lads? 66 miles to go. Now, there is a lake down here I kind of wanted to check out. So, let me see. It should be on our left. There it is. Right, lads, left turn coming in. Let's call it 100 degrees. Let's go heading mode. There's a turn. Look at the weather, look. Jesus, look. Isn't that gorgeous? Years ago, you owned a Triumph Thunderbird. Oh, nice, Soaring AJ. A Triumph Thunderbird. I remember, like, didn't Triumph make the Spitfire, as in the car, a Triumph Spitfire? Or am I absolutely raving? I think they did, though. Yeah, they did, didn't they? They did. Oh, man, look at that for a view, friends. Look at that for a view. You were in one? Nice. What a way to start a Sunday. Very happy Easter to everyone. Hope you're all keeping well. We're waiting on our Sunday roast. So we're going flying. You know, that's what we do, lads. We do the thing with the yoke. But I hope you're having a great day. Hope you're having a great weekend. The Triumph Stag. So here's the Triumph Spitfire. Ooh. That's pretty. That is pretty. A Triumph Stag. It's nice. Oh yeah, look at that. Do you know, it's modern enough. What was this, 70s I'd say, was it? Yeah, 1970. What a machine. The Triumph Spitfire, look at it. Oh yeah, just a nice car. Your dad had a TR6? Oh, with the big wheels? Hang on. They're a beautiful car. The engine is something you'd fit in your front pocket as well. Do you know what I mean? Obviously a 4-cylinder. Look at that, man. Triumph Dolomite. Oh, look at that, lads. That's class looking. How different these are, you know, to like your American muscle cars. You know what I mean? A TR7 wasn't a great car. A Dolomite. Oh, Jesus. That's when Triumph had dinner with Lada. Oh, wait, was that one of those mad engines? A Sprint cylinder head. What was the other mad one that Mazda did? Was it a Wrangel engine? A Triumph 2000? Very like the Citroen. Now, like, I mean, look at lads, if we're talking cars, a car I always wanted. This is the gadget I want. One, please. 4-speed gearbox. But that didn't matter. The 500, that's what you want. Oh. Look at the cut of that though, look. Everyone wanted a Hertz 350. Do you remember the old Ford Cortina? No, Capri, Murph, Capri. Now we're talking. Yes. I drove one of these. It wasn't mine, but I drove one. There's memories. Ford Capri, yeah, mad looking, isn't it? Do you remember the Lada? Yeah. It's like, what? I just don't know. I don't know. Your old car, except mine, had a Cosworth. You had 2 Capris. You had 2 Capris. Jesus. Yeah, Capri was a nice car. Or the old Escort with a Cosworth engine. Hell yeah. Oh, look at the state of this, lads. So here's this lake we wanted to mess around. Isn't it gorgeous? Wait now, that's not the lake. That's only a baby lake. That's the friggin' lake. That's only a tiny lake. No. There's the lake. Right turn. 120 degrees. Bring us out to this lake, lads. Look at that scenery, look. Jesus. My dad had a Mark II Cortina in the early 80s. It was a piece of shite. Brilliant, man. Brilliant. That's mad, isn't it? That's not a lake. This is a lake. Isn't it absolutely massive? It's the size of a county or something. This is pretty though. This is very, very pretty. We got moving traffic down there, look. Man alive, this sim, Jesus, like it's just, as we said before, like when it works, oh man does it work. Mark 1 Cortina's backlights are cool. They're backlights. That's just gorgeous looking. Everyone wanted a vet so they can get a Chevette. Ooh. I love just picking somewhere random on the map and say, do you know, we're just going to drive out of here. Look at, or fly out of here. Look at the state of what we found. First car says, Mr. Bull Market was a 98 Mustang GT5. Or Mustang GT, a 5-speed. That was your first car? Jesus. My first car was a Volkswagen Polo. Right? Jesus. Oh, the humanity. Great little car though. Yours is old and rusty, yeah. That's nuts though, isn't it? Your first was a Honda Civic. Yep. Civics, Glanzas, well, Toyota Starlet. Polos, Mitsubishi Colt. First car was a Mark 1 Escort following an Opel Manta. Ooh. First was a 1984 BMW 318i Auto. But did it have indicators? You know. First ride was a 76 Chevy truck. No way, Kozaki. J Foot, bench setting? Or bench seating, yeah. Cold is your favourite car? First car was a Plymouth Neon Espresso. Flying Dig's first car was a 1990 300ZX twin turbo. For your first car! Like, did your parents or guardians like sit you down and say, now listen, no acting the Muppet now with this thing. You're an instigator? All my Beamers had working indicators. Your first was the 77 red Dodge Aspen RT. Nice. Man alive, look at the size of this lake. First car was a Toyota Starlet 86. It was 15 years old. I paid 1,000 Irish punts for it. No. Gibbo's first car was a Tesla. Gibbo used to have an Impreza. Was it the WRX edition? But Gibbo was into his cars. Gibbo's still into his cars. A 1980 Volkswagen Scirocco, tenured. That is a car. Vitelli had a Mercedes 240 GD, an ex-military G-Class. What? First was a Mark II Capri. That's awesome. A Fiat Uno. Sir Camstelot. A Fiat Uno. Nice. First car was a Ford Maverick. That's a nice car. First car was a 1974 Toyota Corolla. Cheapest car in America at the time. Jesus. A Datsun 510. First car was a Corgi. Come on, Captain Sickbag. What scale was it? You know, Ford Fiesta, awful car. 1977 Dodge pickup. 1990 Civic. A 1956 Buick Roadmaster. Now that's awesome. Yeah, we're kind of going the wrong way, but it's all right. Look at the colour of the friggin' lake, man. Ford Sierra Cosworth Gia. Nice. Always wanted a Nissan Skyline. Yeah, they were... Oh, yeah. The insurance would kill you. Look at the colours, man. It's like a tiny little island out in the middle of nowhere. See what Caronado did here as well? Remember I was telling you these static ports? They just kind of flutter in the wind. They're animated. It's a good touch. After your pickup, you went to a Bug 350. Ooh. Ford Fiesta, yeah. Now, my first was a Volkswagen Polo. Then I went to a Ford Focus. Then I got another Ford Focus. Then I got a Volkswagen Passat. Then I got a Ford Mondeo, a Ghia X model. Then I got a Mazda 6, which I friggin' loved until the engine shot itself. And now, friends, I have a Skoda. Superb Skoda, you know? Gonna land on the lake? Can we land on that island? I mean, someone lives down there. We got some beautiful aircraft with us. Man, look at that view, look. A Vauxhall Nova. I know them. Mate of mine got one of them. A V6 Toyota sedan. Shockingly fast, but looks slow. Mitsubishi Galant. The Lancers were alright, but the Mitsubishi Galant, that had a whole load of power. We could probably land on the island once. Yeah, just once. One of the most fun cars I ever had was a Citroen AX GT. Citroen? Captain Cocktail had a CTD. Don't worry, mate. We'll be here for a while. We're going to make it over to the far side, then hang a right and go back up the coast and then go back down, right? We might even go left here a little bit. 090 degrees. Jeez, look at the colours of that water, lads. Isn't that gorgeous? Also owned an 80s Mini. Oh, the Minis were brilliant. Most fun car I had was a Subaru WRX wagon. That's the one Hammond drove in Africa. An 89 Ford Fiesta, and had a Focus since. Gutted they stopped making the Focus. Yeah, Focus are a great car. I had both a saloon and a hatchback variant. Goofy, you're looking well. Ups to down flight. Are you on the west coast of Mexico? Where are we? No, kind of the south. Actually, we're in the middle. In the middle. Murph, I'm just about to buy a 2018 Focus. Yeah, Focus, great car, Dougal. Is she a hatchback? The newer Focuses, they're unbelievable. A 1979 Chevy Impala. Ooh. 86 Peugeot. Oh, they went on for... They were bulletproof, weren't they? The 505 and the 506 Peugeots, bulletproof. This is terribly pretty. Isn't it? Look at that Jag. Favorite car was a Datsun 210 wagon. Current is a 2015 Nissan Rogue, and before that was a 2003 Cadillac. Oh, nice. I posted a pic in the real life channel. Let's check it out. Cyrus T, that's friggin' gorgeous, man. Yep. Not enough teal on it. You need to fix that. Just a small amount of teal, you know. What a machine, though. You will fix that? Sweet. I've been mad to get a bike. I drove, I had a midlife crisis a couple of years ago, you know. It was my second. And I got myself... It was, what was it? Was it a Yamaha or a Suzuki? What was the bike I had? Hang on. I think it was a Suzuki. I'll show you here now. Because I sold it. I bought it, drove it home, drove it out of Lucan down to Dublin. Or Lucan down to Tipperary, right? I bought it for €500 and I sold it for €750. There she is. Jesus. A Suzuki Intruder. Right? Hang on, I'll show you. Suzuki Intruder adverts.ie. Because this will show you my actual bike. Log in. My ads. Sold. Right? I'll show you the pictures. This was my bike. Right? Now, it was a 125cc engine. But it was built on the body of like a 600, so it looked like it was a big bike. And as I say, that was like... That's my old Passat. That was a real case of Murph's having some sort of friggin', you know, midlife crisis, you know. But I used to love it, man. It looks like a Harley, yeah. Like, the look at it. I mean, it was loads of chrome, man. It was really, really nice. And it was only a 125. She'd still do 70 miles an hour, right? Take you a while to get there, but it used with me on it. I mean, that was good going, right? But yeah, it was a lovely bike, man. The missus had no interest. No interest. Come on, you go for a spin, babe. She's like, the state of your face. What? Do you know? Wouldn't be caught dead driving on that friggin' thing with your Murph. I was like, alright. So yeah, that was my bike. Yeah. We enjoyed it, man. We enjoyed it. Until I drove it to work once. And I was genuinely tired after driving it. And I said, you know, I think I'm done with the bike. And then I sold it. And that was the end of that midlife crisis, you know. My last car was an S10 truck. Ooh. Just reminded you to unplug your e-bike. I've always had an itch, you know, to get another motorbike and like do a proper road trip. Man, look at the scenery look. Jesus, the fields look. All right, we're going to scoop over the other side. Right turn coming in, 180 degrees. Easy does it. Isn't that gorgeous? Complete freedom, my dude. You're very welcome aboard. Good to see you, man. Happy Sunday. Look at that, lads. Isn't that class looking? Absolutely friggin' gorgeous. This is general aviation, like it just is, isn't it? So be a right turn again. We're just going to handrail this down. Still not very warm out there. Beautiful scenery. Come ride the Trail of Tears bike ride here in Tennessee and Alabama. Really? All right. Look at the detail on this thing, look. Jesus. Marty K, good to see you. Welcome in, dude. All right, right turn coming in. It's kind of west, but not fully west. Kind of west, you know what I mean? Aircraft is behaving. Temps and pressures are all where they need to be. It's just looking very nice, isn't it? Hope your day is going good, Marty. It ain't Sturgis, but it's a big ride. Big ride. Jesus. Kind of West, is that Kanye's cousin? Yeah. I've always enjoyed the classic sidecar bikes from the look of them. I think my dad drove one of those. The only thing about bikes versus cars, you need to be a special kind of stupid to fall off a car. You know, bikes on the other hand, you can easily fall off a bike. And in Ireland, the weather we have and the roads we have, bikes are dangerous over here, you know? Like, a lot of my friends who drive bikes, broken collarbones, broken arms, broken wrists. You know what I mean? Toto has a bike? Jesus! That's Toto's bike! Bloody hell! Gibbo Ireland is here! Good to see you, man! Happy Easter! Now, Gibbo, did you go hatchet on the Easter eggs? Come on now, you know. So Cyrus bought himself a bike, and one of them. You might say it's triumphant. It's a triumph, right? And then Toto has one of them. That's like something Batman would drive, you know. Does it come in black? Motorbike. Motorbikes have the deadliest safety record? Yeah, man, really bad. That's a beautiful bike, man. Beautiful. Ireland's roads needs a tracked vehicle. Yep. You get about 5 good riding days in Ireland a year. Yeah, 100%. So, like, as I said, the bike I had, that Suzuki Intruder, it was great. You know, beautiful sunny weather, out for a spin, until the one day I drove it to work and I was like, I'm tired and sore after driving for an hour. Not to mention, you know, if you're being overtook by anything, it's like, Jesus. And then, like, a truck overtakes you. Right, terrifying. And then bugs bashing off your helmet and all that. No. And you're driving at speed, looking down, you know, these 2 narrow little forks connected to the wheel, and you're saying, do you know, if that ever got tired or lazy and decided to break off, we're all shagged here. You know, what to be said for cars? Do you know what I mean? But yeah, lads, if you have motorbikes, stick them up in the channel. Even your car. Hide your edge plates, but if your cars as well. I do like my cars, but like, work involves like, you know, 100-kilometer each way commute. So I have to be sensible, right? I need a fuel efficiency and comfort. I basically need a couch with wheels, and that's what the Skoda Superb is. It's built for just like sitting the motorway all day. But yeah, things change. I might get a nicer car. I had a scooter moped to get into work, then I got rid of it. Even with the hairdryer, I wanted to be around for my kids. That's the thing, man. They're so friggin' dangerous, right? We were chatting earlier, Gibbo. We were saying, you know, your first car and cars, whatever else. But like, you've been into your cars, right? The Scooby and so on. E-scooters, yeah, they're all on them now. Bikes are just dangerous over here. Like, I remember I drove a moped, but not for like school. My sister had one. It was an El Katana or something. I looked at Superb to buy last week. Dougal, I'm just saying, they'll change your life forever. You know, when you drive a Skoda Superb, if you walk into a restaurant, they'll make up a table just for you. Just for you. You know what I'm saying? Granted, it might be outside, away from the patrons, but that doesn't matter. Jesus. You get your meals for free, you know. The restaurant is McDonald's. There's a Jag out her window. They felt sorry for you? A 2010 Crystal minivan. What a day for flying. Skoda is a fancy word for Volkswagen? No, it's not. It's a cheaper name for Volkswagen, although they're not that friggin' cheap anymore. Skodas are gone wild expensive over here. Like, the Skoda, what's the Jeep? Not the Kodiak. I've had my eye on a Kodiak for a while. They're like 50,000 euros. 50! I was in a hospital clinic and I had a sign on the wall that said, buy your son a motorbike for his last birthday. Jesus. Yeah, but it's just a Tiguan, isn't it? No, it's not. It's bigger. It's a Tiguan on stilts, you know. Nice machine, though. Yeah, bikes are dangerous. They can be, but like, in Ireland, they're particularly dangerous. You know what I mean? I'd love a Goldwing. Do you ever see the Honda Goldwing? I would love a bike just for kind of like recreational stuff. You know what I mean? We only paid 40,000 for 128 acres. Yeah? Really? Jesus. Jesus. That hops... let's not go there. And even the music doesn't work. Wait now. No, that's even worse. Jesus. We need you. Wait, no! Wait now. No, feck, they're all bad. Here we go. Jeez, Smurf. We were kind of digging ourselves into a bit of a hole there, lads. Oh, Jesus. Right, we're okay now. We fixed it. We're talking about nice things. Yes, tanks anyway. Armoured vehicles. Do you know, a mate of mine, an acquaintance, a fella I knew from years ago, he bought one of the Scorpion tanks from the Irish Army when they retired them. He bought it and he got it NCT'd or DOE'd or whatever, and he was driving the thing up and down, you know, where he lives. He'd drive a Scorpion tank out of his house down to the shop to buy a litre of milk and drive it back again. It's tanked, like, or tracked. Nuts. Speed doesn't kill you, it's the sudden stop. Yep, that's the one. How much petrol did it use? I had the fuel efficiency of about like, oh man, what was it? If you were to break it into litres per 100 kilometres, it'd be like probably 80 litres per 100 kilometres. Muse man, you think that's bad? The one I was about to play immediately after that was where is it? No, hang on, there was that one. There was something else that was just as bad. Broken Wings was another one. Where is this now? You ain't seen nothing yet. No, that's grand. There was just a really, really bad one. Hit me with your best shot. Something like that, yeah. Could have been worse. Sure, could have been worse. Where's that one now? That's a good one. Died in your arms. My dad knew a gent that used the Sherman tank as a wood skidder machine. What? You'd see that in France, where farmers, you know, these barn finds are still being appeared because farmers, way back in the day after the war, you know, they got their hands on friggin' Panzers, Shermans, you name it. And because they were abandoned, you know, they took the friggin', some of them, they didn't even take the barrel off, but they used them as farming equipment. Time to make pancakes. Enjoy, Scott, enjoy. But yeah, like there was a lot of farmers who were like, yeah, they got a Sherman on their they use it for ploughing. What? Absolutely nuts. Look at this, man. Look at the colour of the water. Absolutely gorgeous. Pancakes is a good idea. We're having our Sunday roast in a while. Oh, that works. Look at this. Isn't it pretty? So we're going to keep flying past the lake, hang a left, and then we continue on to our first stop, Volcanoes, lads. It's over that neck of the woods. That's them there, I'd say. That is them. So we're heading down to these lads. Johnny Cronk, good to see you, man. Hope all is well. Yeah, Creo, man, yeah. Location is stunning, lads, yeah. Mexico is absolutely gorgeous in the sim. It was actually really good in Flight Sim 2020, but now it's like, Jesus. It's stunning, man. Like the detail you have, you know what I mean? Look at that. Did we mention that tomorrow is a bank holiday here in Ireland? We're off tomorrow! Brilliant news! Fantastic! That's pretty. Tom says, after spending time in 2024, I find it difficult to go back to 2020. Dude, I'm the very same. You know, if I'll try 2020. I just prefer 2024 when it works. You know, when it chooses not to work, I get fierce excited. There goes just Tom. Yup, the devil you. Flying across Mexico for the first time last week. Great until the sim conked. Yep. Wish my 24 worked. Kozaki, where are you at with that now, man? You're nearly 50%. Sure, everyone's Irish. Johnny, come visit, man. 2020 works great now that we got 2024. Yeah. 2020 is so far a Vatliner sim, kinda. Flying Digs hasn't been back to 24. Sim Update 2 is awesome. Haven't been back to 2020. Gotcha. Yeah, man. Looking forward to Sim Update 2. Really looking forward to it. Like, you're talking 1 or 2 weeks away, that's all. Alright. Same story again, lads. We want to adjust for this to get a little bit closer. Then it's going to be a left turn. She wants 198 degrees. 18, 19, 19, 20. Yeah, so 198. 18, 19, 8. Something like that. I did the same thing but fired up 2020 for fighters. So much better for fighter jets. Think so? Hey, Johnny Mon is here. Good to see you, man. Happy Sunday, mate. Happy G-Ster. Indeed it is. Heard the Sim Update 2 was optimized VRAM usage. Not sure how true that is, but if it is, imagine the improvement in frames. 100%. Spitfire is using 2024 now. Loving the A400. They haven't fixed my bug yet. Unflyable, says Kozaki. Which one is that, Kozaki? Murph, we had 8 aircraft on VATSIM Thursday. Hoping to improve that after your IF4 section. Oh, dude, absolutely. Stop the lights. Yeah, Dougal, I'm going to be doing more of those myself soon. You know, I want to get involved more with the VATSIM flying for sure. Northland Air, good to see you. I get much better frames in 24 than 2020. Stavaris, yeah, same here, man. Same here. But yeah, 8 aircraft flying. We got some new people in there as well, Dougal, didn't we? It's friggin' awesome, man. So over these mountains, we're waiting on this dial to get a little bit closer. Left turn coming in, and we're going to continue on south. Just completed the wrap on your new kit, Fox. Nice. Send us a picture, Complete Freedom. Hey, Tally, good to see you. Murphy, can you give a shout out to my girlfriend, Zara, please? Well, hello, Zara. Happy Sunday and welcome in. I can't turn off the smart cam. No mouse in the cockpit to read instruments. You can't turn off the smart cam, no mouse in the cockpit to read instruments. There's got to be a way we can fix that, man. Complete Freedom, nice. Oh, wow, look at this. Ah, Jesus, look at these. Real life. Down the hill. There's Captain Honda Shadow Captain Cocktail. Ooh, what is that, 1100? Beautiful. Complete Freedom. Look at this. And that's a wrap, yeah? That's awesome. Oh, that's awesome, man. 1100, yeah. That's awesome. I love that. That's a really nice livery. And you're also a genius because you're never going to know if it's dirty. Right? There's method to your madness. The darker colours at the bottom, you see. You know what I mean? Right, your little line is coming in. Line. Sweet livery, yeah, it's beautiful. Kanda would love that. He would absolutely love it. Kanda does love it, yeah. 3.4 miles out. This guy should be moving. Let's see what happens. There she goes. I was trying to figure out what the deal was, but no, she is working. Hey, John C., good to see you, man. Yeah, Mexico's looking stunning, mate. So we'll start our turn about 5 out. Alright. Looking good. Might be a little bit early on that. Let's go nav mode now. That'll take her over. We're going to need some altitude for this one, lads. Man alive, look at the state of the place. Jesus. Stunning. So we're heading towards volcanoes. Volcanoes. And in Nelson 24 seeing the mad lake with the highway. Yeah, is that right? It is a lake. It's accurate. That's a thing, seemingly. Dougal looking good. Have fun at the first airport. It's going to be fun, man. It's going to be fun. Now, we have a fair bit of climbing to do. We're going on the far side of those volcanoes over there. Our speed is good, power is good, fuel is good. Everything's good. Now, what's our endurance like? This is broken. You should be able to use this. There's 36 left. Alright. Could be worse. Aeronaut channel did a comparison. Sim update 2. We also bought a new video card with larger VRAM. Yeah. VRAM is a huge help. Huge help. Love the slow pace of GA flying most of the time. You gotta love it, man. Join Invest is working, the Grey Hadoken? Not sure. I saw Josh's latest video, him and Chelsea doing the builder assist. It looks awesome, Agent Presta. I love Aviation 101. He's one of my favorite, content creator, pilots, whatever. Josh Flowers, incredible. Tallest mountains in Mexico is the what? The City Liblet? Say it fast enough, Murph. Ay caramba. Jesus. Man, what a road trip this is. Yeah, but you're flying, Murph. Do you know what I mean? This is damn good. Damn good. the absolute state of what we're seeing today, it looks only gorgeous. Like, look at even the height of the mountain here, look. Absolutely stunning. Who was in that movie? Dazed and Confused. Why is that ringing a bell, Gibbo? Yes. Wasn't that, yeah, Matthew McConaughey. Yes, yes, yes. Ben Affleck was in it as well. Jesus, that was 1993. All right, all right, all right. Yeah. Dazed and Confused. What a movie. What a movie. That's friggin' awesome, man. I used to know that movie word for word when you were younger. No way, Johnny. The 125 landed on said mountain in 2014. Really? Nice one, Super Ty. Or is this maybe something that has to go in the community folder? Some things have trouble finding mine if that's the case. I would put a lot of them into the community folder, yeah. You're 44, so that was your teenage prime. Hell yeah. Hey, you're only as old as you feel. I get older. They say. I get older, but they stay the same age. Oh! Tonton, good to see you, man. Semantic Warrior is here. Late and wingless on my laptop. But nice to see Murph and everyone here. Easter wishes from my native Italy. I've actually done some environmental work in this part of Mexico. Nice, man. Nice. They stay the same age. We need that on a t-shirt. Oh, you're talking about Join FS? So the Join FS configuration's a bit mad, right? See the other folders to scan? So the first one, specify where your flights and packages are. So that goes into your limitless folder, yeah? Yeah, you also need to, there's a file that goes into your community folder, yes, 100%. I think it's the SimConnect gadget. There's something in here to say install the SimConnect gadget. That's important. You need to do that. You know, it's important. It's terribly important. If you don't do that, it'll be shagged, you know. Alright, we're going to need some altitude for this one, lads. Currently 8,000 feet up the road. We're going to call this one 11 starting off. Go ahead and arm that. We're going to climb here at a nice and easy 500 feet a minute. As we do so, well, we got to reduce some of this mixture. We want maximum power. Too much, too much. That'll do her. Let's see what happens now. Yeah, that'll be important. A SimConnect gadget. That's the one, the Grey Hadoken. Oh man, look at this. We're climbing. That Corvallis. Yeah, it should be okay, Dougal. This is better than chasing Easter eggs. I can't afford eggs anyway. Who needs eggs? Although I do have some Easter eggs inside. But we'll have to have them after dinner. Do you know what I'm saying? Man, that's just... Look at this scenery. Out of the box, man. It's absolutely friggin' stunning. Live time, live weather. Would you ever go to Mexico? And if we go to Mexico, that's another song, but would you ever go to Mexico? It's just gorgeous, man. We're looking good. We're doing a thing, lads. I heard... you heard AL are thinking of Dublin to Cancun as a route. AL? Oh, American Airlines, is it? Or Aer Lingus? Aer Lingus, Murph. AL. Get with the programme. Gibbo heard that Aer Lingus are thinking of Dublin to Cancun as a route. We'd have to go just for the crack, you know. We tell them, listen, we'll go to... for science. You know, we'd be like the away team. Yeah, that'll work. It would absolutely work. The heat would be your biggest complaint. Well, even in this. Now, I don't know, is that working? It's only like 10 degrees, is that right? Now, I know we're high up in the air now, but like still. Like, 10 degrees, is that right? Yeah. We're holding about 110 knots, climbing 500 feet a minute. You're up the hill. Man, look at the mountains over here. That's gorgeous. Flight Sim Expo, right? Yeah, we'll have to quality check the route, 100%. Or we can just tell them, listen, we are highly educated, experienced and versed in the way with Mexican scenery. Therefore, we need to go out and make sure it adds up, you know? Jesus, they are thinking about it, look. So Aer Lingus started the new Nashville flight, right? I mean, Nashville, Tennessee. Where would that get us to if we went to Nashville? Nashville, Tennessee. Let's see now. If we flew into Nashville, where could we go, right? Because you're right in the middle of everywhere. You know what I mean? I mean, you got Tennessee, Arkansas, Alabama, friggin' Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, Kentucky. I think I would like to fly to Nashville. Do you know, I need to go to Montana. We're watching Yellowstone. It's like, we're going to Montana. We need to go to Montana. What's your speed here? How's the old engine behaving at this altitude? Easy now. We're all right so far. I'd like to have seen Montana. The Hunt for Red October. An old adversary. Advisory. Adversary? Advisory. What a movie. But yeah. Just started watching 1883. Haven't seen it yet. Needs to happen though. Needs to happen. Leveling off. 11,000. We're going to need a little bit more altitude for this one, I would say, but let's kind of see what happens. Could be worse. Nashville, Tennessee. How much are the flights there, I wonder? Like a return flight with Aer Lingus to Nashville. They ain't going to be cheap. Right, easy plane. Easy plane. Yeah, 1883. We're just started season 5 of Yellowstone. So yeah, we need to watch the other ones now soon. Man alive, look at this scenery. Mountain flying, lads. Look at those volcanoes too. Oh wow, look at that. Now, I'm just thinking, I think we kind of scoot around this way, over to the left. I reckon, lads, we're going to scoot around to the left here in a moment. You know. You're going to love the valley the runway is in? Ah, Dougal, yeah, don't believe you. Don't worry, Dougal, we'll still be here. Load in, man. We'll be all right now. We'll be waiting for you. I don't even know when we get to the peak. Oh, Kando is here. 34 months. Welcome in, my dude. Happy Easter, Kando. Northern there says 1923 really good as well. They're all actually, and there's more coming. Oh, was there? What's all this then? Vruden, good to see you. We were checking out the beautiful new wrap from Complete Freedom for his Kid Fox. Looks friggin' gorgeous, man. Alright. A little bit more down on the left hand. We're here in Mexico. Absolutely friggin' gorgeous, man.
Allow myself to introduce
Myself. Look at the state of this. Mexico, you're only friggin' gorgeous looking. 1944 is next. Wait, what? So that'd be John's father, wouldn't it? Man, look at this.
Oh, behave.
It's just gorgeous. Captain Sickbag, thank you very much indeed. 500 bits. What a legend. Can't wait to fly with him soon. It's going to be awesome. 24 still doesn't work in VR. Just wait for the new update. Sim Update 2. Pretty sure I sent you a pic of that aircraft we saw crash land on the way home. You did, Dougal. I remember that, man. Yeah. You and the wife out for a spin. They survived, though, I think, didn't they? Oh, man, look at this. Like, look at the weather. This kind of misty fog. Right. Keep it close to the mountain. Well, volcano. Dead stick landing. Incredible stuff, man. His father, John, was just born. Yeah. No more spoilers. No more spoilers. Yeah, waiting for Sim Update 2. It's an old 1950 Cessna 310 that went past you. It looks awesome. There's only a few bits. A couple of bits. Thrown into the air like confetti. Oh, that's gorgeous. Jesus, look at the mountain, lads. Look at that for the view. There's 2 volcanoes. Now, does anyone remember the name of these volcanoes? We did the volcano streams, remember? A cone and then something else. Do you remember the names? Oh man, look at this. Jesus. Look at that's superb looking, isn't it? I take it back, you're not a legend? Alright, down to the right hand a bit more. That's just gorgeous, man. Good man, Vulcan. He is the signpost. Oh man, that's just gorgeous. No, we didn't. Where is it? Super tie. Now we do have two little runways coming up around the corner. Jesus, look at the detail. Winds 339 at 1. Hey, Tic Tac, good to see you. Jesus. Why didn't that let work? It should work, I think. Right. More right. Over here somewhere. Oh, Jesus, look at that. About 110 kilometers to the west port of Veracruz. Okay, thank you, Super Ty. Our speed is good, but man, look how much we're kind of bobbing and weaving, right? So I'm trying to think, there's a highway here or a main roadway we got to follow. And we're landing in here somewhere. It's in a valley. Yeah, Tic Tac, there's great mesh resolution. It looks friggin' gorgeous, lads. Look. We're looking good. I don't know, is it? It's not a road actually. It's power lines. See them there? So we're going to be landing in here somewhere, I think. It's over there, alright. Autopilot off. Let's bring that power back. Drop the nose. Easy does it. This place is spectacular in 2020. Oh man, it's gorgeous here. Easy now. Jesus, look at that valley, lads. There's two little airstrips here, so either one, like they're right beside each other. They're on approach. And look at this. Alright, get down good and low here. Watch your mixture coming down here as well. Speed is fairly lively. Might have to throw in a little bit of a slip. Get the height down. Hey, Heisenberg, good to see you, man. Happy Easter. We have come a long way since Flight Sim 98. Yes, we have. Alright, there's a runway. There's two of them. There's two little strips here. We need to be careful. Did we do the first one or the second one? We're very high. Right, gear down. Let's calm the bejesus out of this now. Easy now. Right, we're just going to try and very gently ease our way in. Westerly runway, the bigger one. There's Phantom ahead of us. Alright. We're like full drag, 80 knots. Gear down, flaps down.
Mustang, November 1 kilo.
Let's see what happens here.
Descend to pattern altitude, report a 2-mile final.
Descending to pattern
The good news is
altitude,
it's
2 mile
quite a
final,
long
Mustang,
strip.
November 1 kilo, uniform 59.
Well, let's see what happens. Jesus, look at the detail, lads. Even the trees, man. This is stunning. Speed is good. Isn't this absolutely gorgeous? Jesus. Alright, mind the trees, watch your power. Easy. Easy. Man, this is pretty. Oh, this is so pretty. Remember that place we found years ago? It was called 1 kilo. Look it up. It's an airport. It's an ICAO code. And the sounds are savage, aren't they? Look at this, lads. Jesus. This is very pretty. 70 knots coming in. Well, 65 actually. This is looking good. Oh man, we have found an absolute gorgeous place. ICAO code on the sim is MMTF, Mike Tango Foxtrot. It's a Barry Seal airstrip. Yes, it is. Alright, watch your power. Hold the
Dreamy,
nose.
sleepy, nighty,
Jesus.
snoozy, snooze.
Adam controls, you devil!
Bonanza, November 64, Foxtrot Alpha 2, enter right base runway 21.
Touchdown!
Runway 21 for Bonanza, November 64, Foxtrot Alpha 2.
Alright, we're looking good. And those flaps in. Get our cowl flaps open. Man, that was pretty. On over here to the right, we'll park up and collect our thoughts for just a moment. Adam controls, hope you're well, mate. Happy Easter, happy Sunday. Oh, she's bumpy. Easy, easy. Man, as soon as you're off that friggin' runway, look how bumpy it is. Jesus. Oh, isn't that gorgeous, look? Isn't that absolutely stunning? Jesus, though. Stunning. I mean, you know what I mean. Alright, so it's our first stop of our flight today. Down past this mad-looking volcano. Look at the scenery here, lads. Look at that backdrop. Where would you get it? You get it in Mexico. Isn't it savage? This is very, very pretty, isn't it? What a machine this is. So, our next leg, 53 nautical miles, and it's going to take us all the way out to the coast, right by the sea, like right beside it. It's going to be gorgeous. Jesus. They're out for a bit of a walk. Let's join them. Hang on. Jesus. Don't mind me. Out you devil you. Look at the state of this place. It's absolutely friggin' gorgeous looking, isn't it? Jesus. Where's this now? Do you hear that sound? We got Comanches. Cessna 310s. Birds in the background, right? It's friggin' nuts looking. Edo, have a lovely night's sleep. You take care, my guy. It's freaking nuts. I like the cut of this jib. It's also a tad bit mad. Jesus, who was that? Valo. Right, lads, are we ready for our next flight? Oh no! Jesus! Strap died! Was it Strap? No, it wasn't Strap. Yeah, just load the old flour for, you know. Isn't it class looking? That's deadly. Right, back into my plane. Like, look at this scenery, lads. Like, it's just gorgeous looking. So, ramble on from here. So we're going to be taking off from this little strip out to the left-hand side. A couple of more small little mountains on the way. And then, lads, all the way out to the coast. And that's where we're planning to stop. Mike, Zulu, Oscar. It's not far. But it does look nice. It does look nice. You got your cocoa beans on board? That'll work. Look at that volcano there. Isn't it savage? Right. The sounds, though. Like, isn't it incredible? You can almost feel the heat from the screen, right? It's unbelievable. Watch out for snakes. Could you imagine? Oh man, you gotta love flights in 24. Look at the cut of it, lads. It's just incredible, isn't it? It's stunning. It's like a Bob Ross. Ian McLeod, it is a Bob Ross scene. Look at the state of that, man. It's absolutely gorgeous, isn't it? Jesus. It's absolutely stunning. Right. We're going to be doing the thing here now, hey. Where's this? Looking for a button. Looking for a button. We do. We absolutely need that. Yeah, it's like... This is gorgeous. Isn't it? Alright. It's time to get ourselves set up and get ready to depart out of here. Are we ready? It is time to fly, fireflies. All right, it's time to fly. Are we ready? Power coming in. Flaps to set. You're up the hill. This is freaking gorgeous, isn't it? Airspeed alive. Here's 40 knots. $50. Here's 60. Yep, see daisy. Pause and ready to climb. Gear in. Ruben Lord, welcome in. Thank you for the follow. Alright, this is going to be tricky. One must be very, very careful as we depart out of here. Easy. Jeez, look at the scenery, man. Bloody hell. Alright, we're looking good, we're looking good. Easy now, Betsy. Oh, look at this. Isn't that gorgeous? Stunning. Watch the old train, Murph. The scenery here, lads, it's unbelievable. We're climbing all right. That balloon are going to see it. So the airport is... Jesus. Mike. Hang on. Mike Tango Foxtrot in the sim. We'll have to come back here, lads. This is gorgeous. Isn't it gorgeous? Stunning. And that volcano there, look. Nice. Alright. Keep picking up some altitude. Lovely lakes and stuff around here, look. Down to the left. Man, this is gorgeous. Look at the cloud coming in. Hey, Dux is here. Good to see you, man. Right, we're doing all right. I say we're doing all right, but you know, I mean, Daniel Meyer, good to see you. All right, easy plane. Let's go heading mode. Autopilot, heading. Altitude, let's call this one, I reckon we're going to 7,000. Arm. 700 feet a minute. Keep climbing just for a moment. Jesus, look at that. Well, bro, good to see you, my dude. Happy Sunday. Isn't that incredible? All right, picking up our nav mode now. Well, I say nav mode. These mountains are a little bit big. We might fly along them. Just in case, you know. We did a 2,000 kilometer car trip around Yucatan back in 2009. Jesus, no way, man. Lads, look at the scenery. Beautiful. Right, let's level off here. Bring some of this power back. Alright, that's good. We're okay with fuel. Temps pressure is still okay. Manifold pressure is good. EGT is good. Fuel flow, a little bit heavy, but we're alright. Let some of that speed pick up. Jesus, look at that. Look at that. With the river and everything. That's absolutely friggin' gorgeous, isn't it? Where's this now? Oof. So I reckon we just kind of follow this down a little bit. Then we'll turn right. Kind of where Death's Angel is. I didn't like the altitude takeoff. Density altitude, man. 100%. Once that temperature starts coming up at all, we're in for it. We're really in for it. Alright, start a bit of a turn here to the right. Man, look at that view, look. I think we're okay. There's Dougal back to us. I just love that though. I mean, there you are. You look at a very random route and you say, do you know, I wonder what the scenery is going to be like. It did not disappoint at all, man. Gorgeous. Time of day as well, it's perfect. Tilly Flyer, good to see you. Just in for a little while before dinner's ready. I can smell our own dinner. 'Tis absolutely gorgeous. Now it'll be, we got ham, croquet potatoes, roast potatoes, gravy, probably a few carrots, a few kind of turnips maybe, do you know? It's gonna be nice. Man alive, look at that. Hope you're having a great day, Tilly. Where is this one now? Was it this one? I thought I did put stuff here. I did, didn't I? Let's see. Yeah, this one works. Potato salad. Nice. Ooh. We're heading this way. So there's the coast, but we're going to be meandering more to the right, so we'll keep to the right a bit. We had roast turkey and stuffing, roast spuds, honey roast parsnips and carrots, peas, green beans, red cabbage, Yorkie pods, all followed by chocolate profiteroles and mini eggs cheesecake. Phantom Diablo, will you send some across? Jesus. Conval, good to see you. Southeast Asian server, my guy. How are you still awake after eating that? That'd be just like, I need to retire to the couch immediately. Valbro was timed out until Musefan untimed him out. Man, Musefan. Man alive. I am so impressed with the scenery here. I can imagine Phantom. Jesus. Like even like the rivers and the streams and stuff, isn't it gorgeous? Needs to be more on the right hand here a bit. I mean, we're not far off our course, but like over here somewhere maybe. MMJ, good to see you, man. Easy does it. Like what's... Right lads, what is on your menu today? It's Easter Sunday, or just Sunday, you know. What's for dinner? Time to start drooling, looking at the screen going, jeez, I'd love some of that. You know? Right, we're doing alright. Speed is really good. 130 indicated. The winds are so calm here, it's like nothing. Just had a boring pasta bake, leftover ham. Sounds good. Nothing wrong with pasta bake, you know. the right. Spitfire's having pizza. Ooh, we got the tunage for Dougal. The Jesus.
Slow down, mama. Why you talk so mean? Good Lord, man, shit. It ain't what it seems. Got nice clothes, late night show.
How come no one serves rabbit for Easter? Jesus.
Fiddle tunes and
Don't forget, lads, if you do like this sort of content and you're watching us over on YouTube, if you could do us a solid, do be sure to hit the like button. It helps the channel out an awful lot.
hey,
Really do appreciate you.
wanna play?
Pork loin roast. Jesus.
Hold on, sugar. Why you look so sad? Come on now, mama. Ain't nothing here so bad. You got fast cars, movie stars, party on down the street with Mary Jane, good cocaine.
Newsman wanted a full run of the day, so you had to dinner this morning at 8:30.
So some days you can take off now, don't think twice, but hey, don't you wanna play? Baby, come on. Tell me where you wanna go. But baby, I don't work down there anymore.
I mean, this scenery today has been absolutely gorgeous, hasn't
No,
it?
I don't. Getting late. Come on now, mama, don't you hesitate. Grab my hand, well we land. I got the champagne. We can knock it back, get on track, jump on.
Geez, Slayer, good to see you.
Double down, roll the dice, take off now, don't think twice. Hey, don't you wanna play? Say hey.
Oh, that scenery. Jesus.
Don't you wanna play?
Tis absolutely friggin' gorgeous now. It's an absolutely exquisite location to fly. I mean, look at the state. Man alive, look at that for a view. Hey, Crowtech says, dinner was bacon, mushy peas, mashed potato stuffing and gravy. Dessert will be Easter eggs. Nice. Just got here. Where are we? We're in Mexico, MMJ. Memphis Don, 34 months. Thank you very, very much indeed, my guy. Hope you're well. Happy Sunday. This is just now to know the state. So we're heading right out to the coast. We can actually start dropping some altitude here as well. So let's, let me see, we're at 7. Let's go down to 5 for the crack. Arm that. Drop her down. Nice and easy. kind of go a little bit of a left turn here as well. The clouds are coming in. There's nothing to worry about at all, lads. It'll be grand. Jesus. Man, look at the clouds. Jesus, toe tapping time for sure. Ah! A heli just flew inside us. Man, look at that. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Right, now I'm positively starving because you've all mentioned nice food. And cheesecake now, do you know, we didn't get any dessert. I could probably do without it, to be honest, but still, I do love a good cheesecake. But no cheese in it now. Just had the shout, wasn't expecting so early. Enjoy the sun. Tilly Fire, enjoy, man. Take it fierce handy out there. We're in the soup. We're in the soup. Easter eggs will make an excellent dessert. Excellent. Yes. I mean, that works absolutely terribly well. Oh, Jesus. Right. Let's see here now. Oh, that's a tune. Man alive, look at the view! Look at the view! Quit yoking around. Oh, lads, look at this. You'll need an exorcist. Oh, Jesus. What's that yoke called? I imagine we're kind of in, you know, a holiday resort area. You guys crack me up. Gorgeous. We can descend a little bit further. We're saying 5. Get her down there now, lads, to about 3,000 feet. Now explain how these puns are funny. Right? Explain yourself. Vice City? Yeah. Was so excited for the stream. Ah, Jesus, lads. Excited. It's amazing what you can... Anything really. Eggs, though, you know, it's... You explained it well. You explained it excellently. You know. Explain in exacting detail, right? Painful. Man, look at this view. Mexico, it's absolutely beautiful in the sim. The Cessna 182 RG, it's a great little machine, isn't it? Bit of an exaggeration. Vincent Price as Egghead from the old Batman TV show. What? Really? This is gorgeous. I agree. Oh, very good news. He agrees. Right, we need to find some egress. Our runway's just over there. We'll be carting you off soon with all these puns. Carton of eggs. Right? It's so beautiful up here. Easy does it now, Jemima. Still descending. Shall we stop making puns? Shall? We shall. Yes. Alright, there's our runway. Just this scenery is just too nice. That's Bunny. Jesus. Sure, listen. Could be worse. Look at that for a view. The sim has been absolutely exquisite. It's been lovely, hasn't it? All right, lads, time to fill the chat with your favourite emotes for today. Spam the chat. Light them up. Make it look all terribly nice.
Hang on to your hats, boys.
I love that. A single Kerry made. Need we say any more? Easing out. And the crowd goes wild. Look at this state of it. Absolutely friggin' gorgeous, isn't it? It is stunning, just stunning. Now, Murph, whatever you do, don't, crash into the ground, because, it could happen and then we'd all be shagged. Do you know what I mean? So we have to be careful now. What might work here now? Wait now. Oh, Bajani. There's a button over there. Well, that could probably work. Yeah, this always works. Press the button. There we go. There we go. Right. Our final approach into Mike Zulu Oscar. Down by the coastline. On our cheeky, sneaky Easter Sunday stream. Man alive, it looks good, doesn't it?
Hello there.
Oh, Sheen, welcome aboard. Many thanks for the follow. Man United. They had some game the other night, huh? Some game. That looks real. You know, turn off the nameplates. It is real. And then they went and lost the Wolves today. Oh, Jesus, did they? Oh, dear, did they? All right, okay. All right. Let's get ourselves somewhat configured. We're looking good. Augie, good to see you, man. Goose, the missus is good. She's in making our Sunday roast. I'm only delighted. It'll be ready in about an hour, maybe less. Alright, watch the speed. Not like having Murph on for the entire journey from Derbyshire to Southampton to make the time pass. Even got home half an hour early. Brilliant! It's all part of the service. Easy now. Gear down. Look at that mad landing gear. It just looks incredible, doesn't it? Beautiful. Right, wait. Time to bring this in for a landing. You know, gently does it. Easy now, Jemima. There's a runway. 4 knots. Bit of a crosswind, but it's okay. Watch your speed. Jeez, the plane sounds great, doesn't it? Just wait for the slightly more beefy C210 to drop. Sounds are good there. As I said, it's one of Caronado's better aircraft. Easy now. Seven knots. Just off the nose. Better 1 o'clock. Hey, Squawk 1200, thank you very much indeed, man. 4 months. Cheers to you, my dude. What a lad. Cheers, man. Very happy Sunday to you. Alright, get yourself straightened up. Easy now. It's about 20 degrees here now. It hasn't been warm, like it's been 10 to 15 degrees most of the flight. But 20 degrees right by the beach, this is nice. Oh yeah, the 206 is really good. Yeah, Kazaki, man, that's awesome. Alrighty. We should make the first exit. We should. Yet you once called it a dumbass plane some years ago. It behaved well when Ali flew around the world. Which one? The 182?
Dreamy, sleepy, naughty, snoozy, snooze.
Willem, you devil! Which one, Super Tie? Easy now. Hey, Wambi, good to see you, man. Wambi, I need to check out your updated scenery. It's on my list of things to do, but I will do it. Easy. 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 Hold. There you go. A little bit hard on the nose, but we're grand. The 182 RG. Did I? I have livestock on the runway. Oh, livestock on the runway. Jesus, Dougal. Remember, over here to the right hand side. Easy. Oh, Jesus, terribly bumpy over here, look. Crunch. Oh man, that looks good. The sounds, lads. Onto the grass we go. you now. Beautiful. Man alive, that was a nice flight. Glenn Mullis, good to see you, Glenn. Great landing in the 182, thank you very much. No duck. Seems like the sounds of an engine that likes to run smooth. Yeah, man, it's really good. Oh, the one I'm in, yeah. Ah, Super Ty, sure, if I said it, sure, it mustn't be true, you know. Days lads, that was an absolute friggin' banger of a trip. Did we get the sound of a beach? You know. We absolutely do. Ah, Jesus, look at the detail. Suffering terrible VR crashes since the sim release. Backed off setting high rather than ultra, and then just flew boat legs with VR. No crashes. Nice one, Captain Doug. Dip your toes in. Wouldn't you love to? You know, there's trout in that stream. Well, there's not really. You're in the beach. Well, you're on the beach. But here's everyone parked up. Lads, absolutely incredible flying. Like, incredible flying. It was a very impromptu kind of let's go flying in Mexico. It was savage. Really, really enjoyed that one. And it's only just over 100 miles. Like, look at the backdrop though, isn't it? Just, it's insanely good. Absolutely gorgeous. Hey, Colonel Fork is with us as well. Nice. He's out for a stroll. Beautiful. JB Alberta, welcome in, man. So this airport ICAO code is Mike Mike Zulu Oscar. And it's here in Mexico. So that was our flight plan. Just north of Guadalajara. And we kind of flew around this lake region here. Then down to these volcanoes. Landed just behind them in that beautiful, beautiful little valley. Stunning. And then across the other mountains, all the way down to the coast. We came into this kind of open area, harbour area. And then rambled into here. It's quite beautiful here, I must say. It's stunning. Absolutely stunning. It's been gorgeous. Yeah, there's definitely super tight. I'm going to do like other mountain stuff as well because they're so much better now in Flight Sim 24. Like, they're ridiculously good, do you know? Right, lads, that's going to do it for today. I want to thank you all so very much indeed for joining us. We're back tomorrow, 1900 Zulu. We continue on with our FAA conversion course, working on our ATC. And hopefully we'll have some ATC on VATSIM thanks to the Boston Virtual ARTCC. We're going to be doing a cross-country flight tomorrow night, taking off from a towered airport, land at an untowered airport, land at a towered airport, and then come back to where we started off again. So it's going to be a relatively busy stream tomorrow night, taking on what we've learned thus far as we try and figure out the FAA side of the house. But from today, what a beautiful flight, awesome scenery, so great to fly with everyone. And yeah, man, I'll probably be on at some stage later on. Now, I don't know what I'll be doing, but we might jump on and do something. We'll see how dinner goes and how much, like, you know, how much of a lie down I'm going to need. I'll probably need one, to be fair. But yeah, that's kind of the story now. So where's this now? We're at the beach, so we'll do something beachy. Brilliant as we ramble out. But guys, I want to thank you all so very much indeed. All the support, all the follows, the raids, the subscribes, the bits, absolutely incredible. Thank you very, very much indeed. And yeah, we will see you tomorrow, 1900 Zulu. We'll be over on Discord until then. !Discord is where we hang out. And yeah, we'll see what the crack is. So see you later on. Thanks so much for watching. Happy Easter. See you soon. We're doing a thing, right? We're almost supersonic. No, we're only at 400 knots. That was the most cinematic anticlimax ever. Yeah, but hang on, give it time. We're doing it. Ah, you're gonna miss the ground, you big ape. Hang on. Bank angle.